Let us be thankful to management of our Sandeep Foundation Nagpur as well as principal, then course coordinator, then professors who were instrumental in ensuring that this faculty development program comes in existence, and I'm very sure it will be very useful for all young and other learned participants to plan their, you can say, future academic journey of them as well as of their institution to meet global standards as envisioned in NEP. So, friends, as Ankit sir has rightly said, we will have this 3 hour session in fundamentally two parts. First part will be of about 1.5 hours, and so will be the next. Then, in each of this part, let us divide it further in two sessions. So, total, as Ankit sir has rightly said, we will have 4 sessions in two parts, so that you can say we could take our journey to the logical end of understanding the spirit and fundamental concepts as envisioned in NEP, and when implemented, what reforms or transformations will be there, and we will be the part of this wonderful journey of transforming our education system to global standard. And you can say it's a journey from local to global through national. So all of us will be the part of it. Very wonderful journey. So this is how we will do. My I fully understand that now NEP is being implemented for a couple of years. For postgraduate, even 2 batches have come out. So we are now having experience also of implementing provisions of NEP. In fact, this is the right time with our implementation experience of few years to critically analyze what are the difficulties we have faced, what are challenges we have faced, what advantages we have taken. So we can take note of those, and we can discuss today in what way exactly it is anticipated, what we have done, what were the result expected are we getting, if any difficulties, how can we jointly, you can say, deliberate, discuss on those problems. So I know that many of our learned participants probably, because they have already implemented, maybe knowing much more than what I will try to discuss. So please feel free to give your valuable inputs during this session. Let us make it more interactive so that all of us, including me, will be benefited by the practical knowledge of those experts who are implementing it. Of course, we will have our question answer session at the regularly at the end of each session. But if anybody feels to get something more clarification, or somebody feels unnecessary, some point is getting stretched, feel free. So let us make this platform more as, you can say, even playing platform, not something that somebody is speaking, others are listening. We will try to make it more interactive. So with this small introduction and request, let us see what we will be doing. So in these 4 parts, 4 sessions of 2 parts, initially we will discuss what are the fundamental, you can say, the journey of NEP, and on which pillars this NEP stand, so that those pillars, once we understand, when we implement it, we will be able to connect the threads of our implementation with the fundamental pillar as envisioned in this policy. Then this policy has very, you can say, nicely given the concept of what is education, what for education, why we should give, provide education, and why learners should, you can say, seek education from us. What are its aims? And when this concept is clarified, you will find that education clearly opens some domains. It's not only one single window which gives education, there are 3 domains which we will see. Then, whatever education we give, curriculum, syllabi, we will have to give under those domains, then it will be at par with the concept of education in NEP. Then this policy very strongly recommends, you can say, integration of various types of education. So we will understand what are types. Once we understand type, then its integration will be possible. So this is how we will go in now our coming session. Now, first thing, let us understand, when we say that we are implementing NEP, the first and foremost thing, let it be the session like what we are having today. Let it be our any training program. Let it be the individual single class which we conduct, what we call it as our lecture or practical or seminar, anything and everything where learning happens. When we say that NEP is implemented, first thing we have to state is the expected outcome of that. So expected learning outcome, its statement, it's making very clear to all stakeholders, particularly to the learners, is the first thing when we say we are implementing NEP academically. And at the end, we have to check whether whatever we have expected, whether it is attained by the learners or not. So in this same fashion, we will conduct all our four sessions in two parts. So our expected learning outcome of our first session of part one will be, after this session, all learned participants will be able to understand the pillars of NEP 2020, concept, aims, domains, and types which are envisioned or expected in this policy. So this is our expected learning outcome of session one. After this session, we will check whether the learned participants have attained this expected learning outcome. So friends, whenever henceforth you will conduct any class, any unit, any course, beginning of that every bit or every unit or module of your course of anything where learning happens, let it be curricular program, co-curricular program, seminar, field visit, internship, anything, project, anything and everything. Please very clearly state expected learning outcome. Make it known to our student, that is learner, and at the end of that bit, unit or course, assess the learner to ensure that they have attained whatever was expected. So here, let us start our understanding with the journey of NEP 2020. Friends, after independence, it is not that first time that any education policy has come. We know earlier we had Radhakrishnan Commission, we had Kotari Commission, we had Yashpal Commission. So from time to time, as per the need, India always had various experts commissions. Their recommendations were implemented, and that is how our education policy was always dynamic. But this policy is different than earlier recommendations of the commissions and policy thereupon. In the way, this is a journey you will see. And when our last policy somewhere in 1985-86 was implemented, the journey of this policy 2020 started. We know in somewhere 86-87, India became signatory of Washington Accord. And first time in higher education and particularly professional education, engineering education, the concept of quality assurance, international benchmarks, measurable parameters, audit, and then certification, what we call at accreditation, and then accrediting agency like NBA or NAC. Those big change came into existence as India became signatory of Washington Accord. So quality assurance, international benchmarks, measurable parameters, audit, certification, that type of system came some when last policy came into existence, and you will find NEP considers quality as one of the pillars. So journey started there itself. Then in 92 somewhere, India officially has adopted policy of liberalization, privatization and globalization. So that time also, this GATT agreement, etc., we then thought that it is about trade and industry, but education was also service. So globalization of education, particularly higher education, that also started then only. So here also you will find globalization, internationalization, benchmarking of our standard with international standard, taking, you can say, certain concepts which are internationally accepted. So those also you will find as a basis or foundation in this policy. Then somewhere in 1997, we know Brundtland Committee report came before United Nations called as Our Common Future. There, the concept of sustainability, sustainable development, those concepts were accepted by all the countries, the 173 countries of UN members. India was also has also accepted. And on that Brundtland Committee report, we know in 2003 somewhere Johannesburg Declaration came, 2004 Bonds Declaration came, and the main, you can say, emphasis of Bones Declaration was the concept of sustainability, attainment of those 17 sustainable goals, the awareness, creating awareness and education and new technologies which are sustainable. All onus was kept on the shoulder of higher education and technical education in particular. So you will find in this policy this sustainability development, attainment of sustainability development goal. So this is mentioned at number of places. So this concept of access, equity, affordability, all those which are the concept of sustainability development, those you will find good place in this policy. Then somewhere in 2007-8, IT revolution took place. All sectors, sensitive sectors, including finance, share market, and other sensitive sectors were touched upon by IT revolution. We, the education sector, slightly kept ourselves away, but later on, particularly during COVID, etc., we have found that reaching unreachable is possible only through, you can integration of IT. So IT enabled education, online education, blended education, platform based like Swayam platform, Coursera platform, or Mahaswayam platform. So through IT tools, providing education is almost necessary to reach the unreachable. So in this policy, you will find lot of stress or given on use of IT enabled education, use of open education, online education, Swayam platform based education is highly recommended. So you will find it's a journey. All those events and milestones, whether national commitments or international commitments, those have been the basis of this policy. So what do we take? What is the takeaway? Takeaway is this policy is not a some few years study and some recommendations and implementation. This policy is a document which is a evolved document. So NEP is a journey right from 1985 till this as a policy it was accepted or somewhere in 2013-14 when draft was submitted. So it's a journey. So takeaway is all national international commitments are met through this policy. So we have to only go ahead and you will find later on it is useful also for our Indian education system also. So it's a journey. So please, friends, let us understand that this is the journey of from 19 last policy till date, and we have to only go ahead with implementation of it, and we cannot go back from this. Now, when this policy was you can say a draft policy by Dr. Kasturi Rangan sir, who was ex-chairperson of ISRO, and very illustrious committee was there under him. So when they have submitted this draft of policy as a report, they have found out certain, you can say, major problems currently faced by higher education system. And on to overcome those problems, some key changes to the current system were recommended, and they were included in policy vision. Amongst various problems, the problems identified which are relevant for our today's discussion was they have found out that higher education ecosystem was highly fragmented. So humanities had nothing to do with commerce, commerce has nothing to do with science, science has nothing to do with engineering. All faculties were living in silos, with, as if there is no connection between each other. So the committee has found that this is the major weakness of Indian higher education system. So they have recommended education cannot be like in silos, because in real life, one do not live in silo. It is multidisciplinary approach which is required per person to develop and live in real system. Second was very less emphasis was given on skills and learning outcome. So you will find providing along with knowledge domain, providing 21st century skills and behavior, as well as whole system earlier was based on input and processes and out, but that was found to be a major problem. So outcome based education, outcome based system, it was required. So you will find in this policy, lot of stress is given on other domains other than academic domain, information knowledge domain. Equal weightage is given on skill domain and behavior development domain, as well as the system is expected to move from input and processes and output system to outcome-based system. And rigid separation of discipline was also considered to be a major problem. So here the main focus of this NEP policy is about taking higher education system towards multidisciplinary nature, then offering medium of instruction in local and Indian languages. म्हणून आपण आजही आपल्या सेशनमध्ये थोडं हिंदी, थोडं मराठी एवढ्यासाठी वापरूया, बिकॉज द पॉलिसी विजन ऑफ NEP gives stress की what is important, language is medium. जर लँग्वेज कॅनॉट बिकम बॅरियर फॉर नॉलेज ट्रान्सफर, म्हणून जर गरजेचं असेल आणि शक्य असेल तर स्थानिक भाषेमध्ये तुम्ही मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन केल्या पाहिजे. आपको पता होगा कि महाराष्ट्र में बहुत इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस मराठी मीडियम में शुरू हो चुके हैं, और अभी वो प्लान कर रहे हैं कि मेडिकल कॉलेज को भी थोड़ा हिंदी या मराठी मीडियम में शुरू किया जाए. Then another, you can say, vision includes moving towards multidisciplinary undergraduate education. हम लोगों को सबको पता है कि इवन IITs ने ओनली टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ अभी ह्यूमैनिटीज, आर्ट्स, वो भी डिसिप्लिन शुरू किए हैं, वो भी इंक्लूड किए हैं in as a part of some part of engineering also, and probably they are even moving towards biological sciences also, क्योंकि अभी बायोमेडिकल इंजीनियरिंग वगैरह बहुत मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी एरिया में एजुकेशन आ रहा है. सो दैट इज द one of the strong recommendation or policy vision of multidisciplinary education. और ये सबके लिए very important vision which is mentioned in Article 12, Clause 12 is about curriculum, pedagogy, assessment and student support. And these are the points on which our today's discussion will be there. So once we have understood what are the major weaknesses identified by that draft committee, and how what mechanisms, what recommendations are given to overcome those weaknesses. And those limited two, three weaknesses and three, four, you can say, recommendations will be the basis of our today's discussion. So you will find NEP is a journey, and from 1985 to almost 2014, or for that matter 2017-18 till COVID period, whatever national, international things have happened, considering those, the forward-looking vision is there. So this policy is based on five pillars. All of us must understand it. The first important pillar is access. When this policy draft was submitted, it is clearly mentioned that gross enrollment ratio means the number of students who enroll for university level education to the number of students who pass 12th or equivalent. That ratio was about less than 25%, and it was considered to be too low. 100 student 12 पास होते हैं, उसमें से less than 25 ज्वाइन करते हैं यूनिवर्सिटी एजुकेशन. So this policy has taken the target goal of doubling this GR. So from 25% GR, it is expected the GR should go to 50%. And for that, you will find many mechanisms, many provisions are given, such as multi-entry, multi-exit, level-based education. Earlier, only 12 standard students used to come to university education. Now, 12th standard is level 4. And even a student who has done 10 but not formally done plus 2, but through MCVC or through ITI's higher courses or through polytechnics, if the student attend level 12, student can come to university education. Even those who have done standard 8 up to the, then they have done ITI and advanced technical vocational courses, and they prove themselves of attainment of level 4. So even doing formal 9, 10th, 11, 12, student will be able to come university education. Early specializations, like at 10th only, students used to get diversified into arts, science, commerce, MCVC, etc. Probably that system will get dismantled, and the specialization will not start at a very early stage. So there are various mechanisms provided to increase GER. Why we should know this? Because those who are concerned with admission, so all of us are in that way concerned with admission. So we should know that it is not only 12th standard, that HSSC, then only student will come to university education. There will be various routes, multi-entry routes. Even at first year, second year, third year, students can come, enter, take entry or exit, or even in first year, there are various, you can say, frameworks through which maybe vocational, occupational, and formal, informal mode, online, all those student open schools, everybody will be able to come to university education, provided they prove that they have attained level of 4. So we are moving towards level based multi-entry education, and access is the important pillar. Second is equity. So same quality and quantity of education or learning resources should be available to student or learner irrespective of the strata or location. Whether student is located in urban area, rural area, tribal area, or metro area, the learner must get same quantity and quality of learning material of whatever the student is learning. That is why various online platforms, you can say IT-based education, those things in large number will be implemented. Learning resources will be made available to the student. Equity is second important pillar. So third is quality. We already discussed it because it It's all about Washington Accord. It's all about take going to international benchmarks, international global standards, system of measurable parameters, and more towards earlier our system was on input, processes, and output, but now whole system will be based on outcomes, and outcomes will be the major parameter of measurement of quality. Affordability is again from sustainability. We know India is very heterogeneous country, so lot of mechanisms are suggested so that nobody is deprived of education for want of affordability. And final pillar is accountability. Friends, we have to keep this pillar in mind. Whenever the word accountability comes, it is always associated with certain audit. Whenever certain audit is there, it is always measurement of certain parameter and comparing with standard. And if those standards are not met, who will be accountable? And if whether it will be learner, whether it will be education provider, and if accountable, what will be the action? Because whenever there is accountability, there will be action. So even though the pages are not much open about this fifth pillar of accountability, but we, the education provider, must keep in mind that slowly, when NEP over a decade will be implemented, this pillar, so there will be certain audits, there will be benchmarks, there will be measurement parameters, and it will be always compared with expected parameter vis-a-vis attained parameter. And if there is a gap, there will be feedback, there will be system of improvement, but simultaneously, if benchmarks are not met, then there will be some accountability which may be fixed. So these are the five important pillars: access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. Now, once we have understood the background of NEP, journey of NEP, and the pillar on which complete policy stands, then let us slowly enter into the policy. Now, fundamentally, you will find this policy clearly defines what is education and purpose of education. Probably, if we compare earlier policies, it was not very clear exactly what for education and what is education. But this policy clearly defines the education. We have to keep that definition in mind because that will be the direction in which whole process will now move. And second question is also answered in this policy: why student learners should take education and why we the education provider should give education. So it gives a clear understanding about existence of education provider, what for we are there. Obviously, remember the fifth pillar, accountability. When purpose is given, whether that purpose is served or not, sometimes there may be the thing. So we have to keep that what is education and what for education, objectives, aims of education clearly stated in this policy. We have to, when it comes to implementation, we have to keep both these two questions in mind. Then we are, you will find what is education, you will find along with, there are three domains, what we will call as education, we will see it. Let us understand one thing, that when we say we are implementing NEP, we are moving towards level-based competencies and level-based competency-based qualifications, that type of system. So we have to understand what are the levels of each of the domain and are we operating at right level and in right domain or not. The policy recommends integration of various types. So here we will understand what are the types. Then it will be possible to integrate them. So let us see what is mentioned about education. What is how education is defined. What is the concept of education given in this policy? These policy draft makers have gone through concept of education worldwide. What Socrates has thought, what Aristotle has thought, what Plato has thought, what Western thinkers have thought, what Indian thinkers has thought. And finally, they have given what a definition of education which covers concept worldwide, but more aligned with what Swami Vivekananda ji has defined as education. The definition given is education is manifestation of perfection already existing within an individual. Let us understand this definition. It talks about within an individual. So major change is earlier our education was group education. We used to say some sort of a military like education. Some battalions are there, some regiments are there, say regiment of arts, science, commerce. And in that regiment, there is a class of 60 students, what we used to call first year, 60 students, second year. So these are something like battalion. The fundamental concept in earlier system was all those 60 students are uniform. They have got common interest, common learnability. So when a teacher teaches, all 60 students in a class receives in same way. But here, the concept of education is, it is all about individuals learning or personalized learning. No two individuals have same attributes. Here, the policy recognizes the heterogeneity, the speciality of every individual. And the concept here is why learner learns because if there is interest and passion. म्हणजे गंगा किती पवित्र असली, घागर उलटी असली तर ती भरत नाही. It's all about learners' interest, learners' passions. So it is more about individuals learning rather than teachers teaching. So whole concept, when we say it is about individual, and second is already perfection existing in that individual. So every individual is given special passion, special interest, special attributes. And every individual or person learns if there are, as per the interest, passions already existing in it. So our role gets completely changed. Earlier, my concept was a teacher teaches, student learns. Now concept is no. Learners learn because of inherent attributes of interest and passions. So what is our role? From a preacher to a facilitator, we are changed. It's not teacher is not a, only a preacher now. Teacher has become a facilitator now. And what is our duty? First duty is know our student. What are the attributes? What are the interests? What are the passions? And make that learner or student to understand त्याची स्वतःची स्वतःला ओळख करून देणं. And if the our teaching matches with the interest and passions of learner, then what happens is education. So manifestation of already existing perfection is the process of education. So friends, whatever policies further vision and all provisions have come, they have come out of this concept. You will find in policy everywhere personalized learning, individuals learning, learner centric. Those terms are used everywhere. So this is a bigger change in concept or understanding what is education. Second is this education is integration of knowledge, attitude, and skills. So when we said we facilitate the process of education, exactly what we have to give. The policy clearly state we have to give knowledge, that is information plus knowledge. That is not sufficient. We have to give appropriate 21st century skills mapping with that area of knowledge and attitudes and behavior. So whatever curriculum we have must have these three components, which they call later on as domains also. So aim of education is also mentioned in NEP. Now this is what we have to focus. I request all to please give attention to this slide, because when the pillar of accountability will be revoked, probably this statement, this part of policy clearly state what is expected from we the education provider. So number one, it will be cognitive development, 21st century skills plus character and behavior building. That is one part. That is what is education. But purpose of education, mandate given to us education provider is education must prepare, the word must is there, for meaningful and satisfying lives. आपले विद्यार्थी अर्थपूर्ण उद्देशपूर्ण जीवन जगण्यासाठी तयार करणे हा आपल्याला दिलेला पहिला मॅन्डेट आहे. मग आपलं ऑडिट कसं होऊ शकतं? दे मे जस्ट टेक सर्वे ऑफ अवर अल्युमनाइज. आपले 5-10 वर्षापूर्वी पास झालेले विद्यार्थी ते अर्थपूर्ण उद्देशपूर्ण जीवन जगतात आहे का? सक्सेस इज डिफरंट, हॅपीनेस इज डिफरंट. द वर्ड सक्सेस इज नॉट यूज. यशाची व्याख्या बदलते, पण अर्थपूर्ण उद्देशपूर्ण जीवनाची परिभाषा बदलत नाही. पहिलं आहे आपल्याला विद्यार्थ्यांना त्यांच्या अर्थपूर्ण जीवनासाठी जगतील असं तयार करायचं आहे. दुसरं, एज्युकेशन प्रोव्हायडर मस्ट प्रिपेअर स्टुडंट फॉर देअर फ्युचर वर्क रोल्स. हा महत्वाचा मॅन्डेट दिलेला आहे आपल्याला. आपल्याकडे ऍडमिट झालेल्या पहिल्या वर्षीच्याच विद्यार्थ्याला आपल्या विषय शिकल्यानंतर what are the future prospects where my student can go? He can become a teacher, he can be a professor, he can become, you can say, some go to manufacturing sector, student can go to quality control sector, student can become scientist, student can become bureaucrat. So whatever are the avenues after studying our course, we have to keep eye आफ्टर 7-8 years. म्हणजे पहिल्या वर्षी 3-4 वर्षाचा अभ्यासक्रम झाल्यानंतर प्रोफेशनल इकॉनॉमिक लाईफला विद्यार्थी गेल्यावर त्याला काय वर्क रोल मध्ये लागेल त्याच्यासाठी तयार करणं ही एज्युकेशन प्रोव्हायडर्सची दिलेली जबाबदारी आहे. वी मस्ट प्रिपेअर स्टुडंट फॉर फ्युचर वर्क रोल्स. उद्या जेव्हा अकाउंटेबिलिटी येईल, कदाचित ते आपल्या अल्युमनायचा सर्वे करतील and they may ask the question, whatever presently you are doing, was those attributes, those skills, those knowledge were given in your college, in your higher education? If student says yes, then we have passed. If students say no, whatever college has taught, ते तर सगळं आउटडेटेड आहे, ते काही नाहीच आहे आता. We had to learn again and again. मग हॅव यू बीन प्रोव्हाइडेड हाऊ टू लर्न, सेल्फ लर्न, ते स्किल दिलेलं आहे का? दॅट विल ऑल्सो सफाईज. बट वी हॅव टू प्रिपेअर स्टुडंट फॉर फ्युचर जॉब रोल्स. मित्रांनो, एव्हरीबडी ऑफ अस नो दॅट विथ ऍडव्हंट ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजन्स, even UGC and AICT has stated that some 80 million jobs will vanish because of the old skills. But 97 million new job roles will come because of the new skills requirement. If we are providing old skills for which job market has vanished, then they will say you have failed. But if you are giving continually new skills as per the requirement of market, that too future job roles, that is what has been given to us. So we have been made very dynamic as far as you can say our curriculum, etc., whatever we give in our colleges. So that has to be a future looking. That is what is the mandate given to us. And third is we have to prepare for their economic independence. So existence of educational providers with the teacher, institution, universities is given in this one sentence. Education provider must prepare student for meaningful life, for their future job role, and their economic independence. So all whatever happen in educational institution should be directed towards these three goals. So we have now clearly understood what is education, and education means three domains. So three things we have to give: knowledge, skills, and behavior. So this knowledge is known as cognitive domain. Bloom's taxonomy terminologies are there. So this will have two components. One is descriptive knowledge. So knowing that something like theories, something like you can say laws, so this that form of knowledge, which is knowing that type of knowledge. Now, only thing when we are expert in giving information and knowledge, we give a lot of theories, we give a lot of laws, we teach already the student. Only approach will be only stating this fact will not suffice, but we have to develop ability to reason why these facts are true. This is the change in knowledge domain, which we are already doing. Second is procedural knowledge, that is knowing how. So all our theoretical subject must have two components: descriptive knowledge component and procedural knowledge component. And approach should be to increase, enhance the reasoning capability, critical and analytical capability. Now, each domain we know will have levels. We are moving towards level-based competencies. So even for knowledge domain, cognitive domain, which is information, understanding, thinking, and knowledge domain, there are levels. Lowest stage is of memorizing, that is remembering, just recalling previously learned material. So for our higher education, minimum emphasis should be on मेमरायझिंग अँड रिमेंबरिंग. जसं शाळेमध्ये पाढे पाठ कर, कविता पाठ कर, लॉज पाठ कर, थिअरीज पाठ कर. सो पाठांतरावर आधारित ही लोएस्ट एज्युकेशन. म्हणजे डू यू, इट डझंट मीन की मेमरायझिंग द थिंग इज नॉट ॲट ऑल रिक्वायर्ड, बट thrust should not be on simply recalling the facts. त्यामुळे आपल्याला जेव्हा आपण क्वेश्चन पेपर वगैरे सेट करू, आपल्याला मिनिमम क्वेश्चन स्टेट द लॉ किंवा ज्याच्यात सिम्पली रिकॉलिंग द इन्फॉर्मेशन आहे असे ठेवायचे नाही. नेक्स्ट इज अंडरस्टँडिंग, दॅट इज कॉम्प्रिहेन्शन, ग्रास्पिंग द मिनिंग ऑफ मटेरियल. आपण वर्गात नेहमीच विचारतो, हॅव यू अंडरस्टूड, हॅव यू अंडरस्टूड. सो अंडरस्टँडिंग इज ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टंट, बट अगेन इट इज ए लोअर स्टेज. नुसतं समजून करायचं काय, पाठ करून करायचं काय. जे तुम्हाला पाठ झालं, जे तुम्हाला समजलं, ते यूज करता आलं पाहिजे, अप्लाय करता आलं पाहिजे. म्हणून अप्लिकेशन इज द नेक्स्ट स्टेज, विच वेअर युझिंग द लर्निंग मटेरियल इन न्यू अँड कॉन्क्रीट सिच्युएशन. म्हणजे आपले क्वेश्चन, आपल्या क्वेश्चन पेपरमध्ये मिनिमम मेमरायझिंगचे, थोडेसे अंडरस्टँडिंग, जे एक्सप्लेन, इलस्ट्रेट, that shows understanding, but more about application. Solve some case studies, some real life situation where understanding whatever is understood, students should be able to apply, use. That is the stage. But is it sufficient? No. Analysis, evaluation, and synthesis. Finally, formulating new structure from existing knowledge and skill is the stage. पूर्ण आपलं एज्युकेशन तीन डोमेन मध्ये राहील. त्यातल्या नॉलेज डोमेन मध्ये दोन कंपोनंट राहतील, डिस्क्रिप्टिव्ह आणि प्रोसिजरल, आणि ते 5 स्टेजेस मध्ये राहतील, 6 स्टेजेस मध्ये राहतील. मेमरायझिंग विल बी मिनिमम, अँड सिंथेसिस पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएट किंवा फायनल इयरला किंवा रिसर्चला इट विल बी मोर टुवर्ड्स इव्हॅल्युएशन सिंथेसिस. म्हणजे माझं इयर वाईज शिकवणं, इयर वाईज सिलेबस, इयर वाईज करिक्युलम आणि इयर वाईज असेसमेंट मध्ये क्लिअरली रिफ्लेक्ट झालं पाहिजे की ॲज द इयर एनहान्सेस ऑर लेवल एनहान्सेस, वी मूव्ह फ्रॉम अंडरस्टँडिंग टू अप्लिकेशन टू अनालिसिस अँड फायनली टुवर्ड्स डेव्हलपिंग इव्हॅल्युएशन अँड सिंथेसिस. हे एक डोमेन आहे, जे नॉलेज डोमेन आहे, जे प्रिन्सिपल्स, लॉज, नॉलेज, अंडरस्टँडिंग, इन्फॉर्मेशन बेस्डचं नॉलेज आहे. सेकंड इज इक्वली इम्पॉर्टंट इज ऑन सायकोमोटर डोमेन. हा मोठा फरक आहे. तुम्ही आर्ट्सचे असा, ह्युमॅनिटीजचे असा, कॉमर्सचे असा, सायन्सचे असा, नाव ओनली knowledge domain will not be complete education. Essentially, irrespective of the faculty, irrespective of the discipline of study, there has to be equal importance to psychomotor domain along with, you can say, cognitive domain. सायकोमोटर डोमेन मध्ये दोन शब्द महत्वाचे आहे. वन इज कॅपॅसिटी अँड सेकंड इज कम्पिटन्सीज. दॅट इज एबिलिटी नीड्स टू बी कन्सिस्टंट अँड रिपीटेड and observable achievements. So we have to ensure that whatever theoretical knowledge is there, students are able to use, able to do by their own hands. They are developed with capacities and competencies. I repeat, we are moving towards level-based competencies, and then depending upon level and competencies achieved, then qualification. That type of system. Again, this psychomotor domain also will have 7 levels. Get, set, go. The school level charate, perception, set, and guided response. And for our higher education, it may start with guided response mechanism, complete over response, adoption, and organization. Means imitating and practicing the skills. So in our first year, first semester, second semester, probably there will be demonstrator, there will be everything. The methods are given, instruments are given, process is given, and student get the skill of using those processes, instruments confidently, efficiently. So that will be guided response. Two, creating new patterns for specific, to become a problem solver. This is what is expected. So our practicals also should be designed and implemented level based, from guided response mechanism, complete overt, adoption, and organization. This is how our curriculum, syllabus, and our teachers actually doing in the classroom or laboratories. It for practicals, for doing, for skilling, for psychomotor domain also, we have to go by stages, and competencies mapping with that level, we have to ensure are imbibed in the student, because giving 21st century skills for the whatever discipline student is learning is the mandate of NEP. Third domain will be values and dispositions domain. Very clearly it is mentioned that effective action needs strong motivation along with knowledge and capacity. And this strong motivation comes through your values and disposition system. So developing the right attitude, developing the proper behavior, making students responsible, ethical, and value-based is also considered to be integral part of education. So when we say we are education provider, means we have to cover all these three domains. So our curriculum, our syllabi, our regular classroom and laboratory transactions, and our assessments, everywhere we should have to operate in three domains: cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. You will find affective domain will also be stages. There are 5 stages from receiving to internalizing. It means just selectively attending to certain stimuli. As we know that in our initial development stage, we inculcate certain value system. When teacher comes to class, stand up, say good morning. From that very simple value systems to, you can say, copying the things is bad, then stealing is bad, So now it's plagiarism is not only for PhD now. Even my regular classroom, even in first year, if student copies the assignment, copies the laboratory results and observations, and I evaluate and give marks and do not make it a point to note that this is not to be done, and we stopped it unless we show it, it will be seen that we are not giving working in affective domain. So affective domain, that too level wise, along with psychomotor and cognitive domain, all these three domains together will make education. So what is the takeaway? Our curriculum, we have to ensure that it operates, whether it is first year, second year, third year, PG, hardly matters, but it must be covering all three domains. Knowledge domain. In knowledge domain also both components, descriptive as well as procedural. Then psychomotor, that is doing skilling, and affective, that is values, ethical behavior, and attitude. All these three domains must be there. Then only it will be called that we are providing education. Now, one more recommendation, strong recommendation is about integration of various types of education. So let us quickly understand what are those types, and then you will find that how it gets integrated in implementation of NEP. So academic education, which focused on information and knowledge, which probably Indian education system is doing for years together. We have we are expert in providing academic education. However, we have also separated vocational education. What is vocational education? That is for a certain work situation in the economy. For that particular work situation, the you can say knowledge skills are given only related to that work education. Say for example in ITIs, to some extent in polytechnics, particular work situation is kept in mind and students are prepared for that. And generally and unfortunately, the vocational education like MCVC, ITIs, polytechnics, unnecessarily people have considered is that inferior to academic education. That is graduate education, formal BA, BCom, BSc education. And NEP committee has found it as a bigger weakness. And strong recommendation is every education must have both the components, academic education as well as vocational education. So when we say that we implement NEP means we are having now blend of all types of education, all multidisciplinary. Vocational education will be integral part of academic education. So a vocational enhancement courses will be integral part. Trainings will be integral part. Experiential learning will be integral part. Doing by whatever is theoretically learned, knowing how to implement it, doing it, skilling it is the integral part of now education. That is how integration of academic education and vocational education is done. And other types of education we know, professional education and technical education too. But knowing various types of education, important part is integration of vocational education, internship, apprenticeship, experiential learning, community engagement, community services. So all the life skills. So those part now are the integral part of our academic education also. So whether it is humanities, arts, science, commerce, engineering, there will be integral part, multidisciplinary nature, and vocational education, vocational skilling, short-term training programs, internships, apprenticeship, project-based learning, community engagement, those will be the integral part when that is what we say integration of various types of education. So here, friends, we finish our, you can say, session one. So earlier we had stated what is our learning outcome. It was of about knowing, understanding pillars of NEP, definition of education, domains of education, mandate given to us. Let us slightly recap. So this is what is the way NEP will be implemented, stating outcome and checking, assessing attainment of those outcomes. So all of us, let us quickly recap. Do you remember what are pillars of NEP? Yes, there are five pillars from access, equity, quality, affordability, accountability. So we have understood it on that pillars only our implementation will be. So whatever we implement, we should be able to connect it with one of the pillars. We know what is concept of education. We know it is the manifestation of perfection already existing in individual. So how it will change our role from group to personalized learning, from teaching centric to learner centric, and we from preacher to facilitator. Complete role we will get changed. Mandate given to us as an education provider is very clear and very serious because we have to prepare students for their future job roles, for their meaningful life, and for their economic independence. We know education will essentially have three domains: knowledge domain, skill domain, and behavioral domain. And each domain will have stages, say from memorizing to synthesis, like that only. Aim of education, we know three domains, and we have also understood types of education: academic education, vocational education, professional education, technical education, and policy's vision is integration of various types and various disciplines. So this is what is the understanding spirit of NEP. And now on that basis, we will go inside the policy, whatever is relevant for we the teachers or the institution or a education provider. What are the important things we must keep in mind when we say we are implementing NEP? So let us take half a minute or few seconds. If anybody wants to understand, add, or comment about our session one, so we will wait for a few seconds, else we will go to cornerstones. Okay, so, so let us understand the important provision of NEP for we the teachers particularly. This clause 12 means question comes. हे ठीक आहे, काही युनियन गव्हर्नमेंट करेल, काही स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंट करेल, काही UGC करेल. आता पार्लमेंट नवीन ऍक्ट आणताय, UGC AICT रद्द होत आहे, ते त्यांच्या लेवलला काय करतात आहे. काही गोष्टी म्हणून आपण ठीक आहे विद्यापीठाकडनं येईल मग आम्ही करू, काही गोष्टी म्हणून आपण त्याला प्राचार्य सांगतील, कॉलेज सांगेल तेव्हा करू. बट देर आर सर्टन थिंग्स विच वी ॲज अ इंडिव्हिज्युअल टीचर आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू डू. त्याच्यासाठी कोणाचीही वाट पाहायची नाही आहे. तो क्लॉज माझ्या दृष्टीने आपल्या इंटरॅक्टिव्ह सेशनसाठी सगळ्यात महत्वाचा आहे. आणि तो क्लॉज आहे क्लॉज 12, आर्टिकल 12 ऑफ दॅट पॉलिसी. इट क्लिअरली टॉक्स अबाउट what are cornerstones of quality learning. So expected learning outcome of this is all of us, all learned participants will be nicely understand what are the four cornerstones of quality learning. Why I am emphasizing on this? Because when tomorrow any accreditation or any audit will come, as an individual teacher, they will be asking whether we are implementing this clause 12. आपल्या कोर्स फाईल, आपलं वर्किंग, आपलं क्लासरूम ट्रान्झॅक्शन्स, लॅबोरेटरी ट्रान्झॅक्शन्स, अप टू आपण क्रेडिट आणि मार्क्स देतो तिथपर्यंतच हे या कॉर्नर स्टोन्सच्या अनुषंगानेच असलं पाहिजे. देन that will be considered that yes, we have as an individual. Now याच्यासाठी कॉलेज, विद्यापीठ, गव्हर्नमेंटचा संबंध नाही. हा प्युअरली वी द टीचर्स आर एक्सपेक्टेड टू इम्प्लिमेंट this part. Please go through this clause 12, which talks about cornerstones. What are those four cornerstones? Appropriate curriculum. आता आपण असं नाही म्हणू शकत की हे करिक्युलम तर विद्यापीठ देणार आहे किंवा कोणीतरी देणार आहे. This curriculum means whatever university might have given you, but when it comes to individual, it should be whether we are providing learning experiences. Are we having some concept of opportunity of social engagement? This is what is important part as our individual roles. What does this clause tells about curricula? What do they mean by appropriate curricula? Internationally relevant curricula, opportunity of social engagement, and goal of global quality standards. See, it is a journey from local to global through national. म्हणजे आपलं करिक्युलम करताना ते इंटरनॅशनली रिलेव्हंट आहेत की नाही, त्यातले बेंचमार्क्स हे ग्लोबल क्वालिटी स्टँडर्ड्स मध्ये आहेत की नाही, आणि वी ॲज अ इंडिव्हिज्युअल टीचर आपण सोशल एंगेजमेंट आणि एक्सपेरियन्शियल लर्निंग या माध्यमातून करिक्युलम कमी जास्त जिथे गरज थोडा शॉर्ट असेल तो ऍड करून आपण पूर्णपणे करतो आहे की नाही. स्टिम्युलेटिंग अँड एंगेजिंग लर्निंग एक्सपिरियन्स या टाईपचं करिक्युलम म्हणजे अप्रोप्रिएट करिक्युलम म्हटलंय. पुढे आपण बघूया ते कसं त्यांनी खूप क्लिअरली चांगलं डिफाईन केलंय. सेकंड इज करिक्युलम मध्ये आता 3 डोमेन राहणार आहेत. एक नॉलेज डोमेन राहणार आहे, एक स्किल डोमेन राहणार आहे, एक बिहेवियरचं डोमेन राहणार आहे. मोर विल बी ऑन एक्सपिरियन्शियल लर्निंग. त्याच्यामुळे त्याच्यामध्ये इंटर्नशिप राहणार आहे, अप्रेंटिसशिप राहणार आहे, कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट राहणार आहे, को करिक्युलर राहणार आहे, नंतर एबिलिटी एनहान्समेंट कोर्स. या प्रत्येक पार्ट ऑफ करिक्युलमला सेम मेथडॉलॉजी चालणार नाही. तर व्हॉट टीचिंग स्ट्रॅटेजीज, व्हॉट टीचिंग मेथड्स अँड व्हॉट टीचिंग टूल्स अप्रोप्रिएट टू द करिक्युलम. म्हणजे पहिल्यांदा करिक्युलम अप्रोप्रिएट हवं. त्यामुळे ते इट विल बिकम ए व्हेरी ऑल 3 डोमेन्स वगैरे येतात आहे की नाही पाहून ते करिक्युलम होईल. आणि त्या प्रत्येक डोमेन मधल्या प्रत्येक वर्टिकलसाठी सेम मेथड चालणार नाही शिकवण्याची. सो पेडागॉगी विच इज कम्प्लिटली इन द हँड्स ऑफ द टीचर. हाऊ मच IT टूल्स आय एम युझिंग, what type of, you can say, teaching methodology I am using for theory subject. Suppose certain principle laws ज्याच्यात critical thinking करायचं आहे. Is it only classroom? Is it project based learning? Is it problem based learning? Is it flipped learning? Is it experiential learning? Is it IT enabled learning? So what are the various strategies and tools which are appropriate for the appropriate curriculum part? Are I am using various things? म्हणजे पूर्ण मला न्यू टीचिंग मेथडॉलॉजी स्ट्रॅटेजीज याचंच पूर्ण एक FDP होऊ शकतं. इतक्या वेगळ्या वेगळ्या टेक्निक्स आणि टूल्स रिकमेंड केल्या गेलेल्या आहेत आता. म्हणजे UGCचं आणि AICTचं याच्यावर पूर्ण डॉक्युमेंटेशन आलेलं आहे रिफॉर्म्सवर याच्या. त्यामुळे वी ॲज अ टीचर विल हॅव टू एन्श्युअर that we use right teaching strategies, right teaching methods, use right teaching tools, and right pedagogies for ensuring learning experiences for all students. म्हणजे कधी आपल्याला फ्लिप लर्निंग वापरावं लागेल, कधी प्रॉब्लेम बेस्ड लर्निंग वापरावं लागेल, कधी पीअर लर्निंग वापरावं लागेल, कधी क्लासरूम टीचिंग वापरावं लागेल, कधी ऍक्च्युअली फील्ड व्हिजिट्स मध्ये, कधी कम्युनिटी एंगेज. प्रत्येक व्हर्टिकलला वेगळं वापरावं लागेल. पण आपण हे वापरतो आहे का, दॅट इज व्हॉट विल बी टेस्टेड वेन नेक्स्ट यू कॅन से एनी ऑडिट, एनी ऍक्रेडिटेशन विल कम. थर्ड इज असेसमेंट. पुढे लक्षात येईल जेव्हा आपण NCRF बघू, नॅशनल क्रेडिट फ्रेमवर्क. असेसमेंट इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट, कारण यापुढे विद्यार्थी स्वयंवर शिकू शकतो, त्याला पुष्कळ फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दिली आहे, एक्सपिरियन्शियल लर्निंगनी शिकू शकतो. व्हॉट इज नाउ मोर इम्पॉर्टंट इज असेसमेंट. एव्हरी टीचर must understand the difference between assessment, examination, and evaluation. In assessment also, difference between formative assessment and summative assessment. NEP strongly recommends formative assessment and very strongly says that high-stake examination should be diminished, assessment that to more of formative, less of summative should be there. मग मी प्रत्येक वर्टिकलला what type of assessment tool, what type of assessment strategy, what type, am I using criteria based assessment? Am I using rubric based assessment? Am I using exam based assessment? Am I using quiz based assessment? Am I using some tools, IT enabled assessment? For every vertical with different type of assessment technique, tool and strategy will have to be used. So I must clearly know difference between formative assessment, summative assessment, difference between assessment examination, difference between assessment examination evaluation. I must use various, you can say, strategies. Somewhere I will have to use criteria, somewhere I will have to use rubrics. So all those things, it is completely individual teacher's area, and every individual teacher must show all these things. Then only it will be considered that we, the teachers, are implementing NEP at our end. And finally, what type of student support we are providing for all these three things. For appropriate curriculum, you can say you can say, are we giving some counseling? Are we making them understand importance of each vertical? Are we using various technique, but are we making student aware which technique I am using, why I am using, how it is effective? Similarly for assessment, for all things we have to provide support. And we know that to promote creativity, autonomy is also given to us. We also know that academic bank of credit has come, so students are given flexibility to earn credit from one and use those credits at other institute or other university also. We have been empowered to give credits to the student, but everything should be streamlined. And for streamline, the policy clearly states there will be framework for higher education. We all must understand those frameworks, which will be our next topic once we have understood this. So you will find now NEP vision has got some appropriate curriculum will have theoretical three domains. Out of three domains, importance is on experiential learning because we have to give engaging experiences. Obviously, community engagement, service, fieldwork, project, social innovation, research. Then for vocational, the education is integral part. So internship, on-job training, fieldwork, apprenticeship embedded degree program, and to bring experiences in the classroom, provision of professors of practice, and for updating them, we are preparing students for their future job role. So it will continually may change. So providing short-term skill courses. So all those things are included as a part of giving learning experiences to all students. Now coming to strategies, you can say strategies for assessment. As I told you, all of us, this is very important part of our duty now, assessment. So we must know what are various strategies for assessment like written test, oral test, practical, on-demand exam, peer assessment, self-assessment, then seminar, project, rubric-based assessment, time-constraint examination, time-bound problem-based assignment, multidisciplinary problem-solving, social community, closed book, open book examination, assignments. So all strategies have to be used. I just give you some names about IT tools which are available and we have to use it in big way. There are free versions also available, say for in disciplinary knowledge domain. Quizzy, Quizlet, Testmall and Mentimeter are wonderful things. Then Poll Everywhere, Kahoot, Google Quiz, Puzzle. So these are very easily available tools. Those will be useful for disciplinary knowledge from problem solving or analytical reasoning. Hot potato is there, crossword maker is there, crossword lab is there. For critical thinking is there, for reflective thinking is there, self-directed learning is there, cooperation and teamwork is there. So please be aware of all these tools because as an individual teacher, we will be expected that have we used some of these tools for various, you can say, verticals. For descriptive knowledge, if we have used Puzzle or Mentimeter or Testmall, you will find they are very useful and very easy to use. So please, my request is, please understand these strategies and tools for teaching, for assessment. Then these are how assessment, depending upon the level, sometimes fixed hour exam, sometimes rubrics has to be used, some capstone project. So various assessment strategies will have to be used. Now, once we have understood all these fundamental things, let us now try to understand various frameworks. Then we will take 5 minutes break and then we will continue again for our next part. So let us wait for few seconds to if any question or anything you want to add about this four cornerstones of quality learning. Because this is what every teacher will be expected to do. You cannot pass on anything to college or university or DT or government or union government for this thing. This is purely class 12 addresses the need expected from individual teacher. So anybody who are practicing who wants to add or else few seconds we will wait, else we will go to national frameworks. Okay, so friends, as we are saying, NEP is a journey from local to global through national. And since academic bank of credit like things have come, multi-entry, multi-exit systems have come, there has to be certain synchronization amongst various institutions, various universities. So nationally, certain frameworks have been given to us. Whether we are located at A place or B place, whether we are university, autonomous college or affiliated college, all of us will are bound by this national frameworks. So every individual teacher, every institute must understand these frameworks because whatever we do must comply with these frameworks. And you will find all these national frameworks are aligned with international frameworks. So this is how local to global journey happens through this framework. So importantly, there are three frameworks. One is National Credit Framework, other is National Higher Education Qualification Framework, and third one is LOCF, Learning Outcome Based Curriculum Framework. So credit, qualification, and curriculum. So let us understand the provisions in National Credit Framework. You will find the cover page of this framework shows Ministry of Education, UGC, AICT, so all regulators and statutory bodies of higher education have come together and they have come out with this instrument. What does it mean? This is applicable irrespective of you are UGC regulated, AICT regulated, or NCRT regulated. Everybody will be regulated through this framework. So let us understand what is the fundamental concepts in this framework. we are already giving credits. So I am very sure that everybody of us is aware of concept of credit, but just let us revise what do we mean by credit, because students earn credit, we award credit, but many of the credit courses are at college levels. So we presently give marks, give credit, and those get deposited in National Bank. But tomorrow, if audit takes place, what are the minimum conditions? Then only our credit will become valid. So from that perspective, let us understand essential requirement to validate credit, either earned by student or give awarded by we. Credit is a measure of coursework, and it is about number one, proportional to the time devoted by student. So it is about learning hours. It is not about contact hours of the teacher. Contact hour is one part of the learning hours. So only मी किती तास पिरियड घेतो तेवढ्या क्रेडिटचा कोर्स तसं नाही आहे. आपण जे शिकवतो, जे कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स आहेत, माझं 3 अवर्स असेल एका वीकला, एखाद्या पिरियडला, विषयाला 4 अवर्स असतील, दोज 3 अवर्स 4 अवर्स आर definitely part of credit, but they are not only part of credit, because those are contact hours, and credit talks about learning hours. Second thing, the basic principle is that credit achieving the desired learning outcome through successful attainment by competent authority ही एसेन्शियल कंडिशन आहे. क्रेडिट केव्हा देता येतं? नंबर वन, लर्निंग अवर्सवर तर आहेच, ते व्हॅलिडेट करावेच लागतील किती अवर्सचं लर्निंग आहे त्या क्रेडिट देणाऱ्या कोर्सला. पण अचिव्हिंग द डिझायर्ड लर्निंग आउटकम म्हणजे काय? कुठल्याही गोष्टीला मी क्रेडिट देत असेन, तो प्रोग्राम असू द्या, कोर्स असू द्या, ट्रेनिंग असू द्या, को करिक्युलर असू द्या, कल्चरल प्रोग्राम असू द्या, स्पोर्ट्स असू द्या, एखाद्या सेमिनार असू द्या, फील्ड वर्क असू द्या, इंटर्नशिप असू द्या, wherever credits are awarded by us or earned by student, first and foremost thing, desired learning outcome specify केलेच पाहिजे. मी फील्ड वर्कला जरी मुलांना नेत असू, इंडस्ट्रियल टूरला नेणार असू, फर्स्ट आय मस्ट स्टेट what are the expected learning outcome of that, you can say, teaching learning activity. जर आपण एक्सपेक्टेड लर्निंग आउटकम डिफाईन केले नसतील तर आपले क्रेडिट क्वेश्चन मध्ये येऊ शकतात. सेकंड थिंग, नुसते डिझायर्ड लर्निंग आउटकम स्पेसिफाय करून होणार नाही. ती ऍक्टिव्हिटी पूर्ण झाल्यानंतर कम्पिटंट अथॉरिटीनी असेसमेंट करायचं आहे. एखाद्या विद्यार्थ्यांनी कुठेतरी ठिकाणी एखाद्या दुकानात सम समर इंटर्नशिप केली, सम सर्टिफिकेट आणून दिलं, वी कॅन नॉट गिव्ह क्रेडिट ओनली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सम सर्टिफिकेट ब्रॉट बाय द स्टुडंट. Assessment is integral part of credit mechanism. Unless assessment is done, credit cannot be given. मग स्पोर्ट्सचे क्रेडिट पाठवत असू तर त्याचा असेसमेंट रेकॉर्ड पाहिजे. कल्चरल प्रोग्रामचे पाठवत असू, असेसमेंट पाहिजे. NSS उन्नत भारत अभियानचे क्रेडिट देत असू, कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंटचे क्रेडिट देत असू, फील्ड वर्कचे देत असू, त्याचं असेसमेंट झालेलं रेकॉर्ड पाहिजे. असेसमेंट इज इंटिग्रल पार्ट ऑफ क्रेडिट. असेसमेंट कोणी? बाय कम्पिटंट अथॉरिटी ओनली. सो who are competent authority? Sadhya, we the teacher, we the institute, we the university, we the assessment agencies, those are the competent authority. म्हणजे इंटर्नशिपला सुद्धा तुम्हाला आपलं असेसमेंट आणि we have to make somebody competent from industry level, supervisor level, that okay, we empower that to assess. So there has to be some competent authority. Competent authority assessment केल्यानंतर student must demonstrate achievement of desired learning outcome. That is what is called as successful assessment. नुसतं assessment चालणार नाही, ते सक्सेसफुल असलं पाहिजे. आणि सक्सेसफुल जेव्हा ठरलं जाईल वेन स्टुडंट डेमॉन्स्ट्रेट अटेनमेंट ऑफ आउटकम. म्हणजे कसं आहे, आपल्याला सिस्टम कशी करावी लागेल, फॉर एनी ऍक्टिव्हिटी, any program, any course, any training, first state the outcomes, expected outcome. Write down the clear-cut learning hours. After that learning hours program is over, have the assessment. Have assessment pattern strategic question which will map to with expected outcome. आणि त्या एक्सपेक्टेड आउटकमच्या अनुषंगिक मी प्रश्न विचारलाय, असेसमेंट केलेला आहे. Then we can say that this was my learning expected outcome from the student. They were made known to the student. Student have undergone learning. Then I as a competent authority, I have assessed the student. My assessment questions, my assessment method, my quiz, whatever strategy I use, it gets mapped with expected outcome. Now student have rightly answered, successfully gone for that assessment, which proves that expected outcome are met, and so I am giving credit. So unless this record of all five things are there, our credits may not get validated. So that is what is the takeaway from National Credit Framework. Now second is from where credits can be earned. Credits can be earned wherever learning happens. अकॅडमिक मध्ये होईल, व्होकेशनल मध्ये होईल, ट्रेनिंग मध्ये होईल, स्किल मध्ये होईल, एक्सपेरियन्शियल मध्ये होईल, क्लासरूम मध्ये होईल, लॅब मध्ये होईल. इवन इयरली, हाफ इयरली क्लास टेस्ट, त्याचे अवर्स सुद्धा लर्निंग अवर्स मध्ये काउंट होतात. कुठल्याही ऍक्टिव्हिटीज असतील, सेलिब्रेशन ऑफ फेस्टिवल्स असतील, व्हॅल्यू एज्युकेशन, स्पोर्ट्स आहे, लाईफ स्किल आहे, कम्युनिटी वर्क आहे, फील्ड व्हिजिट आहे, देन प्रोजेक्ट्स आहे, इंडस्ट्री अटॅचमेंट आहे, इंटर्नशिप आहे. Wherever learning happens, those are considered as component of learning, and learning hours are counted. Only along with learning hours, attainment of outcome is essential part. This we should go. Now, how hours are related with credit? The minimum number of learning hours per year has to be 1200. म्हणजे पूर्वी आपण एक वर्ष म्हणजे 2 सेमिस्टर, एक वर्ष म्हणजे 180 डेज असं म्हणायचो. Additionally, now 1 year means 1200 learning hours and one semester must be of 600 learning hours. म्हणजे आपल्यासाठी टेक अवे काय आहे? Whatever academic calendar we prepare, it must show, our 1 year academic calendar should show that 1200 learning hours are there. Our semester calendar must show 600 learning hours. आणि एक सेमिस्टर 15 ते 18 वीकचं असतं, त्यामुळे आवर वीकली कॅलेंडर मस्ट शो मिनिमम 35 to 40 hours. तुम्ही जर गव्हर्नमेंटचा GR वगैरे बघाल, त्यात लिहिलेलं आहे की देअर शुड बी मिनिमम 35 लर्निंग अवर्स पर वीक, देअर शुड बी 600 लर्निंग अवर्स, देअर विल बी 20 to 22 क्रेडिट्स इन वन सेमिस्टर. आता हे क्रेडिट्स 20-22च कुठून आले? कारण इंटरनॅशनली 1200 लर्निंग अवर्स म्हणजे 40 क्रेडिट, 600 लर्निंग अवर्स म्हणजे 20 क्रेडिट. म्हणून आपलं एक सेमिस्टर 20 ते 22 क्रेडिट्स आहे. 20 ते 22 क्रेडिट्स आहे याचा अर्थ आपल्याला 600 अवर्सचं लर्निंग आपल्या रेकॉर्डला दिसलंच पाहिजे. आणि जर 15 वीकचं आपलं एक सेमिस्टर असेल तर आपलं वीकली कॅलेंडर 40 अवर्सचं. लक्षात घ्या, हे 40 टीचर्सचे कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स नाही आहे. आपले कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स 28-32च राहतील, जे पूर्वी होते आताही तेवढेच राहतील. पण स्टुडंटचे लर्निंग अवर्स 40 अवर्सचं रेकॉर्ड आपल्याला ठेवलंच पाहिजे. तेव्हाच त्यांनी 600 तासाचं लर्निंग केलं आणि म्हणून विद्यार्थ्याला 20-22 क्रेडिट मिळू शकतात. सो मिनिमम लर्निंग अवर्स, प्लीज एन्श्युअर दॅट युअर कॅलेंडर शोज 600. मिनिमम पर वीक कॅलेंडर shows 34 to 40 आणि एव्हरी सेमिस्टर मस्ट बी ऑफ 15 to 18 वीक्स. आणि थिअरीसाठी 15 तासाचा कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स म्हणजे 1 क्रेडिट आहे एका सेमिस्टरला. पण 1 क्रेडिट म्हणजे नोशनल 30 अवर्सच आहे. ते थिअरी असू द्या की प्रॅक्टिकल असू द्या. मग थिअरी आणि ट्युटोरियल मध्ये 30 तास कसे भरतात, तर त्याच्यात क्लासरूमचे कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स प्लस टर्म वर्क प्लस सेल्फ लर्निंग. म्हणजे मला जर विद्यापीठाने एखादा 4 क्रेडिटचा कोर्स दिला असेल, याचा अर्थ मला एका सेमिस्टरला 120 तासाचं लर्निंग मुलांचं रेकॉर्ड असलंच पाहिजे. त्यापैकी विद्यापीठ आपल्याला 4 क्रेडिट्सच्या कोर्सला वीकली 4 अवर्सचं टीचिंग कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स देतं. 3 क्रेडिटच्या थिअरीच्या कोर्सला 3 अवर्सचा, तो म्हणजे जितक्या अवर्स आपण विद्यार्थ्यांना थिअरी शिकवतो तेवढ्या क्रेडिटचा कोर्स जनरली असतो. कारण 3 अवर्स जर मी शिकवले, 15 त्रिक 45 अवर्स मी एका सेमिस्टरला शिकवतो. पण मला ऍक्च्युली 90 अवर्सचं लर्निंग दाखवलं पाहिजे. म्हणजे 45 तासाचं मी शिकवेन कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स आणि 45 तासाचं टर्म वर्क, सेल्फ लर्निंग, एक्झामिनेशन अवर्स, असा तो सगळा हिशोब ठेवून 3 क्रेडिटच्या कोर्सला 90 तास दिसलेच पाहिजे. प्रत्येक टीचरनी हा चार्ट आपल्या इथे तयार, हा मी अक्रेडिटेशनच्या रिफॉर्म्स मधनं घेतलेला चार्ट आहे. धिस टेबल इज फ्रॉम अक्रेडिटेशन नॅक अँड NBA reforms booklet. Every teacher should keep this table ready with him. Let us read it from last column. If the course is of credit 4, then multiply by 30. So total hours that should have to be 120 in that semester. If it is a theory course, so probably university will provide you 4 hours per week. So 4 into 15, so 60 hours will be contact hours. And remaining 60चा हिशोब हा टर्म वर्क, सेल्फ लर्निंग आणि एक्झामिनेशन असे मिळून ते 60 कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स, 60 SL, असे टोटल 120 अवर्स. म्हणजे तो 4 क्रेडिटचा कोर्स. प्रॅक्टिकलला सोपा आहे. प्रॅक्टिकलला म्हणजे जितके अवर्स आपल्याला ऑलरेडी 2 अवर्स असतील प्रॅक्टिकल, so it becomes 30 hours. So 30 hours means 1 credit. But कधी कधी असं कन्फ्युजन होतं की थिअरी म्हणजे 15 तासाचं 1 क्रेडिट आणि प्रॅक्टिकल म्हणजे 30 तासाचं 1 क्रेडिट. तसं नाही आहे. 30 अवर्स म्हणजेच 1 क्रेडिट. फक्त थिअरीमध्ये 30 पैकी 15 तास कॉन्टॅक्ट अवर्स आहे आणि 15 तास टर्म वर्क, एक्झामिनेशन, सेल्फ लर्निंग जे आहे. पण टोटल नोशनल अवर्स 30 दिसले पाहिजे. जेव्हा आपण पर्टिक्युलरली कॉलेज लेवलचे क्रेडिटचे कोर्सेस पाठवू, पुष्कळ आहेत. कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंटचं आपणच क्रेडिट पाठवणार आहोत. नंतर स्पोर्ट्सचे आपण क्रेडिट पाठवतो, NSSचे आपण क्रेडिट पाठवतो, कल्चरल प्रोग्रामचे आपणच क्रेडिट पाठवतो. ते क्रेडिट पाठवताना लर्निंग अवर्स बरोबर रेकॉर्ड ठेवा, असेसमेंट रेकॉर्ड ठेवा, लर्निंग आउटकम्स रेकॉर्ड ठेवा आणि अटेनमेंट ऑफ लर्निंग आउटकम्स थ्रू असेसमेंट ह्याचा रेकॉर्ड ठेवा. देन आवर क्रेडिट्स विल गेट व्हॅलिडेटेड. तो जो 5वा पिलर आहे अकाउंटेबिलिटीचा, उद्या जर 2 इन्स्टिट्यूट्स मध्ये इक्विव्हॅलन्सी ऑफ क्रेडिटचा प्रॉब्लेम आला, देन if our credits will get validated when all these 5 things are there: learning outcomes are specified, learning hours, notional hours are made, assessment is done, competent authority has done the assessment, and student have demonstrated the attainment. एवढ्या गोष्टी दिसल्या की ते क्रेडिट व्हॅलिड होतील. हे नॅशनल क्रेडिट फ्रेमवर्कची समरी आहे. दिस इज व्हॉट वी शुड understand. Now, as usual, let me give small assignment and then we will break for 5 minutes. Can you please prepare a teaching learning for any one semester of your program in accordance with this credit framework? असं आपण टेबल बनवू का आपल्या कुठल्याही एका सेमिस्टरसाठी? Your course coordinator may check it. You can submit it to course coordinator. See, पर्पज एवढंच आहे की जे काय आपण आता ट्रान्झॅक्शन करतोय ते नीट समजलं तर उपयुक्त आहे. कारण हे प्रत्येक टीचरला ऍक्रिडिटेशनच्या तेव्हा फेस करावं लागणार आहे. प्रत्येक टीचरला त्याचे क्रेडिट जस्टिफाय करावे लागणार आहे, व्हॅलिडेट करावे लागणार आहे. त्यामुळे क्रेडिट कसे द्यायचे हे प्रत्येकाला, बघ एका सेमिस्टरला 20 क्रेडिट, हा 20 शब्द कुठून आला, 600 तासातही आला एक. आणि हे इंटरनॅशनल स्टँडर्ड आहे. एक वर्ष म्हणजे 1200 तास, एक सेमिस्टर म्हणजे 600 तास, एक आठवडा म्हणजे 40 तास. आणि एक 600 तासाला 20 क्रेडिट, 1200 तासाला 40 क्रेडिट. सो धिस शुड बी व्हेरी वेल नोन बाय ऑल ऑफ अस. आणि 5 टेस्ट ऑफ 5 शिवाय क्रेडिट ऑन पण विद्यार्थी करत नाही आणि आपण क्रेडिट अवॉर्ड पण करू शकत नाही. इक्विव्हॅलन्सीच्या तेव्हा प्रॉब्लेम येणार नाही. त्यासाठी प्लीज ट्राय टू मेक दिस प्लॅन फॉर इट. सो if anybody wants to add, if anybody wants anything to say or ask, or else we will take a break of exactly 5 minutes and then we will continue. Is it okay, sir? Should we break for 5 minutes? Tea break?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Exactly after 5 minutes, we will meet again. Thank you very much. Please feel free to interact.
Okay, sir.
So should we start? Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Should
sir.
we start? Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So, friends, we have seen the journey of NEP, pillars of NEP, purpose of NEP, what is education, what are domains, what are various stages in each of the domain. Then we have seen what is national credit framework, what is the concept of credit, how credits can be given, what are few essential things, how minimum credits, how it is related with national learning hours. Now it is applicable to everybody, irrespective of where we are located or which type of institution we are. This national credit framework and this concept of credit, notional hours, then 1200 hours means 1 year, 600 means one semester, 600 means 20 to 22 credits, and 1200 means 40 to 44 credit. So it is applicable for everybody. So we have to follow it scrupulously wherever we are, whomsoever we are. Now, next is about qualification framework. This is again a framework which really orients or transforms the complete system towards level based, competency based, and depending upon the competencies, the qualifications. So that type of framework is given through NHEQF, which is known as National Higher Qualification Framework. So again, you will find, friends, that this document is also through Ministry of Education, University Grants Commission. So all statutory bodies, they have come to one platform and come out with this document. What does it mean? It is applicable to every institution, whether it is UGC regulated or AICT regulated, all educational institutions, universities, colleges, we are bound by this qualification framework. So let me give you you can say short history before we go into the implementation or understanding this in HEQF. This qualification framework, even before implementation of NEP was in existence, even before the draft of NEP was submitted, qualification framework as per international standard was implemented in India. We know, particularly for skilled workers, international labor organizations and international institutions to standardize the, you can say, skill sets of vocational and occupation people. They have come out with framework. It was known as National Vocation Framework, MVF first. Then it became National Vocational Education Framework, NVEF. Then it was National Skills Qualification Framework, NSQF. And now NSQF is further enhanced for higher education, and the document of NHEQF has come. So journey with international labor organization, international institutions, government of India, aligning global standards with skill sets and knowledge sets of Indian human resource. So NVF, NVEF, NVEQF, NSQF, and now NHEQF has come. So this is one thing we should understand. Second thing, since it is directly mapping with international standards and to achieve international goals, there are qualification frameworks worldwide. India has adopted European Union's qualification framework. The process is known as Bologna process, and the parameters of those qualification framework are known as Dublin parameters. So India, it's truly our national qualification framework. It's not that we have simply copied European framework, but alignment of our framework internationally is with more towards European Union. So our parameters are mapping with Dublin parameters, which is worldwide well known. Now, with this brief history about qualification framework, let us begin our session. So, as usual, expected learning outcome we have to state, and every learner, every learned participant should understand what will be the expected learning outcome of this session. After this session, all learned participants will not only be able to understand, but they should be able to implement level-based, competency-based structure in higher education. I repeat, we are reorienting ourselves towards level based. For each level, well defined competencies, and level based, when competencies are attained, then only qualification mapping with that competency. So we are moving toward level based, competency based structure even in higher education. So this is what is our expected learning outcome. So what are those objectives of NHEK? For each level, the academic standards and learning outcomes are well defined in this structure. So for every level, what will be the minimum academic standard and what will be the learning outcome? Those are very clearly stated. We know we are moving towards outcome-based education. So input processes and output, they are not as important as outcome. So for every level, there will be very clear-cut expected outcome and the standard. So that definition is given through this framework. Now this will enable horizontal and vertical mobility across disciplines, integration of various disciplines, and integration of various types of education is the strongest recommendation. So for horizontal and vertical mobility, this framework is useful. International comparability, and employers will also know it. Now understand the key features. Our complete educational system is classified into level that way 1 to 8, while level 1 to 4 is up to school education and level 4.5 to 8 is higher education. So earlier, what we used to call 12th standard will be known as level 4 attend. What we used to call as first year of university education will be level 4.5, and what we used to call PhD will be level 8. So complete higher education is now classified from level 4.5 to 8, something like 4.5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, 7.5, and 8. This is how the education is classified into levels. Now for each level, let it be level 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, there will be clearly defined attributes and learning descriptors for that level. It will enable recognition of prior learning because, as I told you, we will have multi-entry, multi-exit. So once the student attends certain previous level, the student is able to go to higher level. So student attending level 4, irrespective of formal 12th or any other mode, will be able to enter level 4.5, and it will also help for modular structure with multiple entry and exit options. So these are the key features. So summarizing, now our higher education is divided into level, and for each level there will be attributes and descriptors, and all our curriculum, syllabi, our teaching, our assessment, examination should be mapping with expected descriptors of that level only. So our curriculum, those who prepare curriculum, those who design syllabi, we the impart syllabus, we assess, everything should be keeping that level in mind and descriptors well given in this framework. Keep those in mind and according to that only our system will work. Say for example, what we used to call first year, that is semester 1 and 2, will be level 4.5, and student will have to learn for 1200 hours. So 600 hours first semester 600 hours, second semester 20 credits, semester 1, semester 2 20 credit, so 40 credits. And if the student exit, student will have to earn 4 credits for internship or experiential, and student will be given certificate. So level 4.5 outcome will be given certificate. Level 5, 4 semester 1, 2, 3, 4, 80 credit diploma. Level 4, 5.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semester, 1200 plus 1200 plus 1200 hours, 120 credit, 3 years degree. Like that, it will levels, years, credits and qualifications are mapped. So level 4.5 will be lowest, level 8 will be PhD. Each level represent different level of skill, knowledge, responsibility and autonomy required to demonstrate the competency commensurating with that level. Level, competency, qualification. This is how we are going. So this will be our structure. Now, instead of year, we will be moving to level. Each level will show how many hours, how many semesters, how many credits, and what qualification on exit. So for each level, there will be qualification and qualification descriptors. All our system, academic system, curriculum, syllabus, teaching, learning, assessment, examination will be mapping with level, mapping with descriptors, mapping with expected competency. So this is a big transformation for all of us. So now what is more important is it will qualifications will be like certificate, diploma and degree, and they will be described in terms of learning outcome. So first year certificate, what are the expected learning outcome? Second year, 2 years diploma, what are outcome? 3 years degree, what are outcome? That is very clearly is stated or described in terms of some statement. We must understand those statements. Then each level will be based on defined outcome, that is statement, what the learner is expected to know, understand, able to do, and what type of behavior is expected. Student should be able to demonstrate those attributes. So demonstration of attainment of those outcome and attributes is more important than mode of learning. See, this is a very impactful statement in this document, that mode of learning may be direct, in person, open, distance, online, hybrid, blended, flipped. So whatever may be mode of learning, student may learn from my class or from some other institute or on Swayam platform. Mode of learning can be anything, but assessment and demonstration of attainment of outcome is more important. So outcome is important, process is not important. That is why in NEP, very clearly it is given that 40% of the credits or 40% of the learning can be on Swayam platform. Maharashtra is coming with Maha platform. Tomorrow every university may come with their platform. So student can learn online, open, blended, experiential. So mode of learning can be anything, but assessment, examination will be more important, and student will have to demonstrate attainment of those outcomes, and our assessment should show that we have designed our assessment system which validate attainment of outcome. So our focus is towards attainment of outcome rather than process of learning. This is what is very critical statement in my opinion. Now let us understand for each level what are the descriptors given. So expected learning outcome will be all of us will be able to understand and then frame descriptor for our own curriculum. Now, each level, as I was saying, it is based on Bologna process or Dublin parameters. In for India, NHEQF they have given in 5 classes the statement. Those 5 classes are about theoretical knowledge, technical skills. So you will find those 3 domain only: aptitude and soft skills, broad learning outcome, and level of responsibility. On these 5 classes, the statements are given for each level. Say level 4.5, what is the theoretical knowledge expected? What is the skill expected? What is the aptitude behavior expected? And what level of responsibility we are preparing student for, say, first year certificate level. Similarly, for first 4 semester, that is second year, what is the expected depth and breadth of knowledge? What is the expected skill they should have? What level of responsibility they can take? Very clearly given. Let us understand those statements. In case of theoretical knowledge, what a learner should know and understand with reference to subject. It is described in terms of depth, breadth, kind of knowledge and complexity. So first year courses, what should be the depth with which we should go? For second year, what to what extent we should go? Very clearly they are given. Breadth is given, kind is given. Similarly, for professional skills, for first year certificate level, what type of skill? Use of intuitive, logical, critical thinking, communication skills, generic skills, use of method, material, tool, instrument, IT skills, to what extent it is expected for each level, that is clearly described. Similarly, for aptitude, it is given then what level of responsibility, whether student will be responsible for self-job, for a job of a group, or for the complete performance of the complete team or of the unit of the complete company. So whether he will be a supervisor, whether he is a student will become manager, or will student will become managing director, to what extent, or scientist. So extent of supervision required and can be given. So those has to be very clearly defined. And in our curriculum, we have to ensure that student have attained those attributes. That's why we are giving him certificate, diploma, or degree. So let us understand what are the statement given for each of these classes. Suppose for knowledge domain, so element of descriptor is knowledge and understanding. If the student is of first year, that is level 4.5, that is semester 1 and 2, what is expected? Knowledge of fact, concept, principle, theories, processes in broad multiple disciplinary learning areas within chosen field of learning. So what does it say? That if I am framing first year curriculum, first semester, second semester, the student will choose broadly field of learning, art, science, commerce, engineering. And in that, student will be provided 2, 3 different disciplines. So here, student will not become a student of chemistry, physics, or exclusively any mechanical engineering or electronics engineering. Student will be exposed to various disciplines of chosen field. If it is science, he may be given physics, chemistry, maths, or chemistry, biology. 2, 3 disciplines will be given in first year, that is semester 1 and 2. To what extent the syllabus should be there? Only about, just like you can say canvas, about fact, concept, principle, theories, processes, both procedural knowledge and descriptive knowledge. बट स्टुडंट विल ओनली अंडरस्टँड या विषयात काय आहे नेमकं, त्याच्यातून त्याला कळेल त्याला इंटरेस्ट कशात आहे, पॅशन कशात आहे. फर्स्ट इयरचं सिलेबस हेवी करायचं नाही. 2 ते 3 डिसिप्लिन्स त्याला सांगा त्याच्या चोजन फील्डचे, आणि त्याला एकदा त्याला लक्षात आलं कशात गती आहे, then after second semester, when students come to third semester, that is semester 3 and 4, which we call it as level 5, that time give deeper knowledge and understanding of one of the learning area. जिथे त्याचा मेजर फिक्स होईल, आणि एक मायनर म्हणजे त्याला एका विषयामध्ये डीप घेऊन जा, डीपर नॉलेज, बोथ प्रोसिजरल नॉलेज आणि डिस्क्रिप्टिव्ह नॉलेज. पण टेकिंग स्टुडंट इन टू डीपर will start only in सेमिस्टर 3, 4 ऑनवर्ड्स. फर्स्ट सेमिस्टर, सेकंड सेमिस्टरला कॅनव्हास दाखवा, 2-3 डिसिप्लिन दाखवा, खूप डीप ब्रेड न्यायचं नाही. ते त्याला एकदा गती आली की मग थर्ड सेमिस्टरला त्याला डीपर न्या, मग मेजर मध्ये जाईल, मग त्याची ब्रेड आणि डेप्थ वाढेल. तो मुलगा जेव्हा थर्ड इयरला येईल, म्हणजे लेवल 5.5 ला, आता 3 इयर्स डिग्रीला, त्यावेळेला डीप तर त्यांनी त्याच्या मेजरला गेलाच आहे, पण त्याशिवाय करंट आणि एमर्जिंग इश्यूज आणि डेव्हलपमेंट दोन्ही डिस्क्रिप्टिव्ह आणि प्रोसिजरल नॉलेज मध्ये. आणि चौथ्या वर्षाला गेला तर रिसर्च बेस्ड, ऍडव्हान्स्ड अँड रिसर्च बेस्ड नॉलेज. पूर्ण 4 वर्ष सर्टिफिकेट, डिप्लोमा, 3 इयर्स डिग्री आणि 4 इयर्स ऑनर्स और ऑनर्स विथ रिसर्च डिग्री मध्ये लर्निंग आउटकम्स. पहिल्या वर्षी फक्त फंडामेंटल, नो डीप, नो ब्रेड, फॅक्ट, कन्सेप्ट, प्रिन्सिपल. दुसऱ्या वर्षीपासून डीपर, तिसऱ्या वर्षी करंट आणि एमर्जिंग इश्यू, चौथ्या वर्षी रिसर्च आणि ऍडव्हान्स. अशा रीतीने करिक्युलम तयार करायचा आहे, अशा रीतीने सिलेबस बनवायचा आहे, अशा रीतीने आपल्याला शिकवायचं आहे, आणि अशा रीतीने असेच केलं आणि आम्ही ही पद्धत राबवली असं डॉक्युमेंट आपल्याकडे असलं पाहिजे. हे झालं पहिलं डिस्क्रिप्टर नॉलेजचं. आता स्किल्स डोमेन बद्दल, सायकोमोटर डोमेन म्हणजे अप्लिकेशन ऑफ नॉलेज. पहिल्या वर्षाला आमचे प्रॅक्टिकल्स वगैरे कसे असले पाहिजे की द स्टुडंट शुड बी एबल टू अप्लाय दिस अक्वायर्ड ऑपरेशनल, टेक्निकल, थिअरॉटिकल नॉलेज, कग्निटिव्ह प्रॅक्टिकल स्किल्स. कुठल्या लेवलपर्यंत? टू सिलेक्ट अँड यूज बेसिक मेथड्स, बेसिक टूल्स, बेसिक मटेरियल आणि बेसिक इन्फॉर्मेशन. म्हणजे त्याला एका स्पेसिफिक एम्स सांगितले, त्या एम्स साठी लागणार कुठल्या मेथड्स असतात, सगळं डेमॉन्स्ट्रेट केलं, टूल्स दिल्या त्याला, प्रोफिशियन्सी हँडलिंग ऑफ टूल्स. तीच तीच गोष्ट एका विशिष्ट सिच्युएशनला खूप चांगल्या रीतीने विद्यार्थ्याला करता आली पाहिजे. यासारखे आपल्याला फर्स्ट आणि सेकंड सेमिस्टरचे हँड्स ऑन जिथे जिथे येतं, मग ते व्होकेशनल स्किल्स असतील, आपल्या विषयातले प्रॅक्टिकल्स असतील, पण लक्षात घ्या तिथे डेमॉन्स्ट्रेट सगळं केल्या जाईल. त्याला प्रोसिजर सांगितल्या जाईल, इन्स्ट्रुमेंट कसं हँडल करायचं सांगितलं जाईल. एव्हरीथिंग विल बी टोल्ड अँड स्टुडंट विल बी मेड एक्सपर्टाईज. कारण तो सर्टिफिकेट घेऊन बाहेर गेला तर तो एखादा स्किल्ड वर्कर या लेवलचा त्याला सर्टिफिकेट होल्डरला इकॉनॉमीमध्ये, मार्केटमध्ये, फ्युचर जॉब रोलमध्ये त्याला जायचं आहे. तर स्किल्ड वर्करच्या ऍट्रिब्यूट्स त्याला फर्स्ट इयरला लेवल 4.5 ला प्रॅक्टिकल्स मधनं येतील. दिस इज व्हॉट इज द स्टेटमेंट. तो मुलगा गेला नाही सर्टिफिकेट घेऊन, पण तो दुसऱ्या वर्षाला आला, म्हणजे नाऊ द स्टुडंट हॅज एंटर्ड इन टू सेमिस्टर 3. तर थर्ड आणि फोर्थला काय करायचं आहे? पहिल्या वर्षीचं त्याला ते एक्सपर्टाईज इन हँडलिंग तर झालंच आहे, पण आता तो त्या दुसऱ्या, तिसऱ्या, चौथ्या सेमिस्टरला डीप विषयात मेजर मध्ये जातोय. तिथे आता त्याला सिलेक्शन ऑफ पण मेथड करता आलं पाहिजे, फक्त केलेलं नाही. आणि त्याला द स्टुडंट शुड बी एबल टू गॅदर क्वांटिटेटिव्ह आणि क्वालिटेटिव्ह डाटा. आता क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, अनालिटिकल थिंकिंग, डाटा कसा मिळवायचा तो इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्वांटिटी ॲज वेल एज क्वालिटी त्याला लक्षात आलं पाहिजे. आणि स्टुडंट शुड बी एबल टू फॉर्म्युलेट सोल्युशन टू द प्रॉब्लेम. म्हणजे पहिल्या वर्षी त्याला स्किल झालं होतं, दुसऱ्या वर्षी तो आता प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्हर होतोय, पण स्पेसिफिक डोमेन मधलं. त्याला प्रॉब्लेम सांगितले, त्याला वेगळ्या वेगळ्या मेथड्स वापरता येतील आणि त्याला सोल्युशन देता येईल, त्याला डाटा जनरेट करता येईल क्वांटिटी आणि क्वालिटीचा. तोच विद्यार्थी तिसऱ्या वर्षाला आला, आता थर्ड इयर डिग्रीला, त्याला चांगलं स्किल तर आलेलंच आहे, त्याला सगळे इन्स्ट्रुमेंट चांगले हाताळता येतात, त्याला डाटा जनरेट करता येतो, त्याला प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्हिंग ऍटिट्यूड डेव्हलप झालेली आहे, तो प्रॉब्लेमला, स्पेसिफिक प्रॉब्लेमला सोल्युशन देतच होता. नाऊ the student should be able to assess the appropriateness of different approaches. Now student will not be provided with ready-made instrument, ready-made process and ready-made aims. Student will be given problem statement and student will be given all facilities. Student should be able to say which is the best instrument for this solving this problem, which is the best method, what quantity and quality of data is required, and student will come out with the solution and should be able to justify which is the best approach for solving problem. So this is what is expected when we design curriculum for practicals or skill-based courses of third year student. When the student comes to fourth year, then advanced and research-based approach. So their student should be able to use research technique, research methodology, advanced methods of solving new problems of the, you can say, learning area. So even for practicals, curriculum should be designed level wise. First year gives skills, second year make him a problem solver, third year make him a critical thinker and come out with various approaches and able to evaluate various approaches and give judgment. And in fourth year, new synthesis. Using all methods, can the student synthesize, create something new? So this is what is expected in level-based, competency-based for knowledge and skill. Similarly, so perform, accomplish tasks, similar, all these skills are to be there. Similar has to be done for third domain, affective domain also. So there, employment ready skill. See, level 4.5 certificate holder, the student will be skilled worker. In diploma, he will be supervisor. In third year, he may become manager. So for that job roles, what are the value system required? Constitutional value, ethical value, humanistic value. So those level stages of affective domain will also be different, and we have to instill those values and prepare the student for, say, in first certificate, make him responsible for his own work. For, you can say, from skilled worker, he becomes supervisor, make him responsible for his own work as well as work of small team working under him as a supervisor. If he is third year, now he is a manager. So various teams are working under him. So make him responsible for his own work as well as for the work of the team. And if he is fourth year, now he is must have research aptitude. So new problems, new synthesis. So he is responsible not only for new things, creative things personally out of him, but of the group. So this is how level-based responsibilities, level-based all attributes in three domains are very clearly specified in this document. And these are the best for our preparing curriculum for level-based, competency-based system. And this is the guiding document for curriculum, syllabus, teaching and assessment. So if I summarize, you will find as the level from 4.5 to 5.5 to 5.5 and 5.5 to 6, that is certificate, diploma, 3 years degree and bachelor honors or PG diploma, you will find duration, learning hours, credits, and say very clear descriptor about knowledge. In one case, it is basic concept. In second case, it is broader. Third is comprehensive. Fourth is advanced. Skill also basic skills, moderate level, the problem solving and new solutions. Application of knowledge. In case 4.5 certificate, just selecting and using basic tool. For second year, specialized knowledge and tools. Third year, analyzing an appropriate method. Fourth year, research one. So like that, the as the level changes, elements of descriptors such as say autonomy and responsibility for certificate holders, that is skilled worker, limited independence, some responsibility. But for diploma, who is now supervisor, full responsibility for personal tasks and partial supervision of others. If he is degree, then manager, supervises various teams, manage, own and grow. And then if it is fourth year, full responsibility with research thing. So this is how we have to prepare. These are the very clear differentiation of level based. Very clear descriptors are given. Level 4.5 foundational knowledge, basic skills. Level 5 intermediate. Level 5 point research informed decision. And level 6 advanced level. We prepare student for postgraduate research entrepreneurship. So for every level, from skilled labor, supervisor, manager, to entrepreneur or leader. So clear cut, you can say profiles are given, expected outcomes are very clearly given, and all institutions nationally will have to adhere to this. Now, important part is how it will be validated. Suppose some audit team comes, some accreditation team comes, or some fifth pillar is evoked, that is accountability. From where they will decide accountability? Main will be through our, because students have passed. They will be doing survey of 3-4 बॅचेस मीन्स 5-6 वर्षानंतर जर स्टुडंट आपले निघून गेले आहेत त्यांचा सर्वे करून ते आपण काय केलं हे बघायला येणार आहे. बिकॉज इट इज आउटकम बेस्ड एज्युकेशन. वी आर प्रिपेरिंग स्टुडंट फॉर फ्युचर जॉब रोल्स, देअर हॅपी लाईफ, देअर इकॉनॉमिक इंडिपेंडन्स. म्हणजे आपली 5-6 वर्षानंतर मुलं या क्रायटेरियात बसतात का? हॅपी लाईफ जगतात आहे का? उद्देशपूर्ण जगतात आहे का? त्यांना जॉब रोलमध्ये आपण शिकवलेलं कामात येत आहे का? त्यांचं इकॉनॉमिक इंडिपेंडन्स कडे जातात आहे का? ते चेक करायला मग त्या बॅचचं कसं करतील? मेन टूल विल बी अवर एक्झामिनेशन अँड असेसमेंट. तर मी समजा फर्स्ट इयरचा टीचर असेल तर माझं थिअरॉटिकल आपण सब्जेक्ट म्हणजे पहिल्या डोमेन बद्दल बोलूया, कॉग्निटिव्ह डोमेन बद्दल. पहिलं लेवल 4.5 म्हणजे रिमेंबर, अंडरस्टँड आणि अप्लाय. म्हणजे माझं डिस्क्रिप्टिव्ह नॉलेज असेल, प्रोसिजरल नॉलेज असेल. कॉग्निटिव्ह डोमेन मी जनरली एक्सपेक्टेड आहे ब्लूम्सच्या रिमेंबर, अंडरस्टँडिंग, अप्लायवर. मग माझ्या क्वेश्चन पेपरमध्ये काय दिसलं पाहिजे? इंटरनल असेसमेंट असेल, विद्यापीठाचं असेल, डिफाईन म्हणजे बा रिमेंबरचे काही क्वेश्चन्स, एक्सप्लेन, अंडरस्टँडिंगचे भरपूर दिसले पाहिजे, आणि लिटिल बिट ऑफ अप्लाय म्हणजे कॅल्क्युलेट, सिलेक्ट हे थोडेसे अप्लिकेशनचे. माझे फर्स्ट इयरचे क्वेश्चन पेपर्स ह्या असेसमेंटच्या वर्ब्सनी दिसले, देन इट विल बी सेड ओके वी आर मॅपिंग विथ आउटकम्स ऑफ फर्स्ट इयर. तेच मी सेकंड इयरचा टीचर असेल तर त्यात काय दिसले पाहिजे? सो इट शुड बी मेमरी बेस्ड शक्यतो नकोच, म्हणजे डिफाईन वगैरे क्वेश्चनच नको माझ्या सेकंड इयरच्या पेपरमध्ये. इट शुड बी ऑन अंडरस्टँडिंग, मोर ऑन अप्लाय अँड लिटिल बिट ऑन अनालिसिस. तर माझे क्वेश्चन पेपरमध्ये वर्ब्स कुठल्याने माझे दिसलं पाहिजे? इंटरप्रिट, कम्पेअर, क्लासिफाय, दॅट टॉक्स अबाउट अंडरस्टँडिंग. अप्लिकेशन मध्ये सॉल्व, यूज, इलस्ट्रेट, आणि अनालाइज मध्ये व्हाय, हाऊ, कम्प्लीट, एक्सप्लेन, ते अनालिसिस. म्हणजे माझा जर सेकंड इयर म्हणजे थर्ड फोर्थ सेमिस्टरचा असेसमेंट मध्ये रिमेंबरिंगचा एकही दिसायला नको शक्यतो, पण काही अंडरस्टँडिंगचे, काही अप्लिकेशनचे, काही अनालिसिसचे असे वर्ब्स दिसले, देन विल से दॅट येस वी आर गोइंग ॲज पर NEP. जर मी थर्ड इयरचा टीचर असेल तर माझं ब्लूम्स लेवल कुठली आहे? कॉग्निटिव्ह डोमेनची. अप्लाय, अनालाइज, इव्हॅल्युएट. रिमेंबर तर नकोच, अंडरस्टँडिंग थोडेसे एखाद दोन असले तर चालतील, पण मेजर शुड बी अनालाइज अँड थोडस इव्हॅल्युएट. मग माझे प्रश्न कसे दिसतील त्याच्यात? लिटिल बिट ऑफ, you can say analyze, design, justify, but more of evaluate, develop, troubleshooting, and little bit of again recommend, simulate, construct. तेच माझा फोर्थ इयरचा असेल मी न, तिथे माझं जास्तीत जास्त अनालाइज, इव्हॅल्युएट, क्रिएट. फोर्थ इयर इज इक्वलंट टू फर्स्ट इयर ऑफ पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएट फॉर 3 years यू कॅन से डिग्री प्रोग्राम्स. सो मेमराईज आणि अंडरस्टँडिंग तर शक्यतो नकोच, म्हणजे डिफाईन आणि एक्सप्लेन हे तर प्रश्न नकोच शक्यतो. बट कुठले पाहिजे मग? फॉर्म्युलेट, हायपोथेसिस, प्रपोज, मॉडेल, डिफेंड, क्रिएट, डिराईव्ह, इनोव्हेट यासारखे असेसमेंट असलं, देन इट विल मॅप विथ लेवल डिस्क्रिप्टर्स. सो व्हॉट इज इम्पॉर्टंट फॉर वी द टीचर is our assessment, internal assessment, formative assessment, और इंटरनल एक्झामिनेशन, त्याचा क्वेश्चन पेपर, मग क्वीज असतील, मग प्रत्येक व्हर्टिकलचं असेल, अगदी फील्ड व्हिजिटचं असेल, स्पोर्ट्सचं असेल, NSS उन्नत भारत असेल, कुठल्याही प्रकारचं इंटर्नशिप असेल, अप्रेंटिसशिप असेल, त्याचं असेसमेंट करताना मला लेव्हल लक्षात घेतली पाहिजे, त्याचं डिस्क्रिप्टर काय दिलाय NHEQF मध्ये. मग जर तो कॉग्निटिव्ह डोमेनचा असेल, थिअरी विषय असेल, तर ब्लूम्सच्या कुठल्या डोमेन मध्ये असलो पाहिजे मी त्या लेवलनुसार. माझे प्रश्न शेवटी अल्टिमेटली माय क्वेश्चन पेपर, माय असेसमेंट इज गोइंग टू बी व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट डॉक्युमेंट टू एन्श्युअर की माझे क्वेश्चन्स हे एक्सपेक्टेड लर्निंग आउटकम प्रमाणे आहेत. माझे क्वेश्चन हे लेवल मधल्या डिस्क्रिप्टर नुसार आहे आणि माझे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व्ह करून विद्यार्थ्यांनी डेमॉन्स्ट्रेट केलेलं आहे की लेवल बेस्ड कॉम्पिटन्सी त्याच्यात आलेले आहेत. मग ते थिअरीचं असू द्या, प्रॅक्टिकलचं असू द्या, प्रोजेक्टचं असू द्या, फर्स्ट इयरचं मिनी प्रोजेक्ट आणि थर्ड फायनल इयरचं मेजर प्रोजेक्ट, अप्रोच एकदम वेगळा असला पाहिजे. फर्स्ट इयरला अतिशय जुजबी नॉलेज आणि इन्फॉर्मेशन, त्याचं स्लाइड प्रोसेसिंग त्याला आलं पाहिजे. पण थर्ड इयर फोर्थ इयरला त्याला क्रिएट करता आलं पाहिजे, अनालाइज करता आलं पाहिजे, इव्हॅल्युएट करता आलं पाहिजे. त्यामुळे अप्रोच हा पूर्ण बदलेल. प्लीज एन्श्युअर अवर असेसमेंट विल बिकम मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टंट टूल टू एन्श्युअर ॲट द टाइम ऑफ ॲक्रिडिटेशन. म्हणून यापुढे असेसमेंटवर आपल्याला भरपूर जोर द्यावा लागेल. प्रत्येक लेवलला व्हॉट इज एक्सपेक्टेड हे समराईज केलं तर एंड ऑफ फर्स्ट इयरला व्हॉट इज एक्सपेक्टेड की कमांड ऑन ब्रॉड रेंज ऑफ थिअरेटिकल, प्रॅक्टिकल, रुटीन नॉन रिटन, फॅक्च्युअल थिअरेटिकल नॉलेज, थोडं लॉजिकल, मॅथमॅटिकल आणि प्रेझेंटेशन स्किल आहे. स्टँडर्ड नॉन स्टँडर्ड प्रॅक्टिस आले पाहिजे. आणि जॉब होल्डर विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर देअर ओन वर्क. वी आर प्रिपेरिंग स्टुडंट फॉर देअर फ्युचर जॉब रोल. तर जॉब रोल विल बी त्यांना कम्युनिकेट क्लिअर करता आलं पाहिजे. दिस इज व्हॉट विल बी एक्सपेक्टेड फ्रॉम सर्टिफिकेट होल्डर, म्हणजे सेमिस्टर 1 and 2. तेच तो डिप्लोमा म्हणजे सेमिस्टर 3 and 4 मधनं काय राहील की तो त्याला प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्ह करता आले पाहिजे, त्याला मेथड, टूल्स, मटेरियल, इन्फॉर्मेशन सिलेक्ट करता आली पाहिजे, प्रोसेस करता आले पाहिजे आणि त्याला प्रॉब्लेमचं सोल्युशन देता आलं पाहिजे गिवन एरियामधलं. तेच if the student comes to third year or fourth year, can you write descriptor? I have already given described complete याच्यात डिस्क्राईब केलाय मी. पण जसं मी 4.5 चे एक्सपेक्टेशनची समरी केली, 5 ची केली, कॅन यू प्लीज डू, कॅन यू राईट डिस्क्रिप्टर फॉर थर्ड इयर दॅट इज लेवल 5.5 ऑफ युअर ओन प्रोग्राम? प्लीज ट्राय करा. मी तर काही चेक करायला येणार नाही आहे, पण हेच आपल्याला भविष्यामध्ये अवर कम्प्लीट ॲक्रिडिटेशन, अवर अकाउंटेबिलिटी ही लेवल बेस्ड, कॉम्पिटन्सी बेस्ड क्वालिफिकेशन आणि आउटकम बेस्ड कडे पूर्ण व्यवस्था वळते आहे. मी ॲज ए टीचर कशाला रिस्पॉन्सिबल आहे? तर माझं करिक्युलम, माझं सिलेबस, माझं टीचिंग आणि माझं असेसमेंट. मी कुठल्या लेवलचा टीचर आहे, फर्स्ट इयरला शिकवतो की सेकंडला की थर्डला की फायनलला, माझं फर्स्ट इयर आणि थर्ड इयरला मी शिकवत असेल तर दोन्हीचं अप्रोच एकदम वेगळा राहणार आहे. आणि ते सगळं डिस्क्रिप्टरला मॅपिंग आहे की नाही, त्याच्यासाठी मला स्वतःला लेवल बेस्ड डिस्क्रिप्टर्स खूप चांगले माहीत पाहिजे आणि त्यानुसार माझं असेसमेंटचा क्वेश्चन पेपर सेट केलेला मी दिसला पाहिजे आणि मुलांचे आन्सर बुक काही सिम्बॉलिक ठेवले पाहिजे की मुलांनी हे बा डेमॉन्स्ट्रेट केलं आलं म्हणून मी त्यांना क्रेडिट दिले या लेवलचे. लेवल, कॉम्पिटन्सी, वन्स डेमॉन्स्ट्रेटेड कॉम्पिटन्सी, देन क्रेडिट अँड देन क्वालिफिकेशन, पूर्ण जर्नी अशी आहे. तर मे आय रिक्वेस्ट ऑल ऑफ यू, can you please try to write qualification descriptor for your level? So let us now, so this is what is the transformation we are happening in our system. We are going towards flexible structure, 40% credit will be recognized through open online learning, स्वयं, महास्वयं, कदाचित tomorrow university स्वयं also. म्हणजे mode of learning is not as important, but demonstrating attainment of outcome as per level is the important. Level, competency, qualification is the way. अकॅडमिक बँक ऑफ क्रेडिट मधनं क्रेडिट ट्रान्सफर होणार आहे. एका कॉलेजमधनं, एका इन्स्टिट्यूटमधनं, एका विषयातून मिळवलेले क्रेडिट बँकेत जमा होतील आणि तो विद्यार्थी ते कुठेही वापरून सर्टिफिकेट वगैरे घेऊ शकेल. ही जेव्हा आपण आता फंडामेंटल समजलो, क्रेडिट सिस्टीम समजलो, क्वालिफिकेशन सिस्टीम, आता आपण लक्षात येईल बघा, हाऊ सिलेबस अँड करिक्युलम इज फ्रेम. नाउ गो टू द पॉलिसी स्टेटमेंट. आता आपल्याला लक्षात येईल पॉलिसी स्टेटमेंट या सगळ्याशी कसा रिलेटेड आहे. एज्युकेशन विल एनेबल इंडिव्हिज्युअल. वी आर गोइंग टुवर्ड पर्सनलाइज लर्निंग, इंडिव्हिज्युअल्स लर्निंग. व्हेरी क्लिअरली दिलेला आहे, एनेबल इंडिव्हिज्युअल. कशासाठी? टू स्टडी वन ऑर मोर स्पेशल एरियाज ऑफ इंटरेस्ट ॲट डीप लेवल. म्हणून पहिल्या वर्षी एरिया ऑफ इंटरेस्ट शोधायचा आहे आणि एकदा त्याला इंटरेस्ट आणि पॅशन कळलं त्याचं, मग डीप मध्ये मेजर आणि मायनर, कॅरेक्टर, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल व्हॅल्यूज डेव्हलप करायचे आहे. ॲफिनेटिव्ह डोमेनचे कोर्सेस इंटिग्रेटेड आहे. स्पिरिट ऑफ सर्व्हिस, कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट आणि सर्व्हिसेस इंटिग्रल पार्ट ऑफ सिलेबस राहील. आणि 21st सेंचुरी कॅपॅबिलिटीज म्हणजे स्किल एज्युकेशन हा इंटिग्रल पार्ट राहील आणि इट विल बी मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी, इन्क्लुडिंग सायन्स, सोशल सायन्स, आर्ट्स, ह्युमॅनिटीज, प्रोफेशनल, टेक्निकल आणि व्होकेशनल. ह्या एका स्टेटमेंटमध्ये आपलं करिक्युलम कसं राहणार आहे. आधीचं आपण जेव्हा बघितलं क्रेडिट क्वालिफिकेशन फ्रेमवर्क, प्रिन्सिपल्स, त्याचे पिलर्स, डेफिनेशन ऑफ एज्युकेशन, तर जी पॉलिसी स्टेटमेंट आहे दॅट क्लिअरली गिव्स हाऊ अवर करिक्युलम विल बी. आणि म्हणून हे आपल्याला आता NEPचं करिक्युलम आलं आहे. आता आपल्या लक्षात येईल की त्या करिक्युलम मध्ये प्रत्येक वर्षी वी हॅव गॉट ऑल 3 डोमेन्स. काही नॉलेज डोमेन आहे, डिस्क्रिप्टिव्ह पण, प्रोसिजरल, थिअरेटिकल कोर्सेस, ट्रेनिंग आणि स्किलिंग, दॅट इज सायकोमोटर डोमेन, 21st सेंचुरी स्किलिंग, आणि अफेक्टिव्ह डोमेन म्हणजे व्हॅल्यू, इथिक्स, ॲटिट्यूड, बिहेवियर. हे तिन्ही कोर्सेसचं ब्लेंड म्हणजे तिन्ही डोमेन्स म्हणजे एज्युकेशन. आपल्याला करिक्युलम मध्ये पूर्वी आपलं कॉग्निटिव्ह बेस्ड होतं, आता इक्वल इम्पॉर्टन्स सायकोमोटर आणि अफेक्टिव्हला आलंय. प्रोग्राम बघाल तर लर्निंग एरियाज ऑफ इंटरेस्ट म्हणून 12वी नंतर सायन्स, कॉमर्स, इंजिनिअरिंग, आर्किटेक्चर, मॅनेजमेंट तयार होईल. कदाचित 12वी पर्यंत असं बायफर्केशन सायन्स, आर्ट्स, कॉमर्स राहणार नाही. स्टुडंट विल कम विथ बास्केट ऑफ कोर्सेस. त्याच्यानंतर ठरवेल त्याला सायन्सला जायचं आहे की कॉमर्सला जायचं आहे इंटरेस्टनुसार. आज जे 10वीलाच बायफर्केशन होतं तसं बहुतेक होणार नाही. मग सेकंड इयरला, थर्ड, फोर्थ सेमिस्टर नंतर डिसिप्लिन ऑफ इंटरेस्ट. मग मला फिजिक्स मेजर घ्यायचा आहे की इकॉनॉमिक्स घ्यायचा आहे की कम्प्युटर घ्यायचा आहे की सिव्हिल घ्यायचा आहे, हे कन्फर्म होईल त्याचं थर्ड सेमिस्टरला. आणि त्याला मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच राहील. म्हणून मेजर सोबत एक मायनर पण डिसिप्लिन येईल आणि इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी आणि ओपन इलेक्टिव्ह. स्टुडंट 2 कारणासाठी शिकतो, एक करिअरसाठी आणि एक पॅशनसाठी. इंजिनियरला म्युझिक मध्ये इंटरेस्ट असू शकतो. श्रीधर फडके इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजिनियर आहे, सगळ्यात मोठा म्युझिशियन आहे. अनेक क्रिकेटियर, अनिल कुंबळे असेल, श्रीकांत असेल, ही मंडळी बाय क्वालिफिकेशन इंजिनियर होती आणि बाय प्रोफेशन क्रिकेट खेळले, स्पोर्ट्समध्ये इंटरेस्ट होता. म्हणजे 2 कारणांनी विद्यार्थी शिकत असतो. एक त्याला करिअर करायचं असतं पोटा पाण्यासाठी, आणि दुसरं त्याला इंटरेस्ट, पॅशन असतो त्याची. म्हणून टू टेक केअर ऑफ इट तुम्हाला दिसेल की अन्य कोर्सेसची व्यवस्था केलेली आहे. नंतर नॉलेज डोमेन नंतर 21st कॅपॅबिलिटीसाठी व्होकेशनल कोर्सेस, स्किलिंग, लाईफ स्किल्स, कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, हे कोर्सेस टाकलेले आहेत. ह्युमॅनिटीज म्हणजे मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी करायला लिंग्विस्टिक आणि कम्युनिकेशन स्किल, सम सायन्स कोर्सेस, अदर डिसिप्लिनचे फायनान्शियल लिटरसी, मॅनेजमेंट, एन्व्हायरमेंटल सायन्स आणि ओपन इलेक्टिव्ह मध्ये घेता येतील. स्पिरिट ऑफ सर्व्हिस साठी कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट सर्व्हिस मॅन्डेटरी आहे. नो डिग्री विल बी अवॉर्डेड. मग तो सायन्स, आर्ट्स, कॉमर्स, इंजिनिअरिंग कुठलाही विद्यार्थी असू द्या, unless the student earns credit in community engagement and service, degree will not be awarded. That is how it is integrated. Character ethical साठी constitutional values, Indian knowledge system, UHV, value education, co-curricular courses हे अफेक्टिव्ह डोमेन साठी आहे. ह्या सगळ्याचं मिळून आपलं NEP बेस्ड करिक्युलम तयार झालेलं आहे. आणि त्याच्यानुसार तुम्हाला व्हर्टिकल जर पाहू आपण तर मेजर मायनर आहे, IKS आहे, इंटर्नशिप फील्ड बेस्ड लर्निंग ऑन जॉब आहे, कम्युनिटी एंगेजमेंट आहे, व्होकेशनल स्किल एनहान्स VSEC आहे, लँग्वेजेस आहे म्हणजे इंग्लिश ॲज अ लिंग्विस्टिक आणि कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स आहे, एबिलिटी एनहान्समेंट कोर्सेस आहे, व्हॅल्यू एज्युकेशन आहे, ओपन इलेक्टिव्ह आहे, देर इज नथिंग लाईक एक्स्ट्रा करिक्युलर. हे सगळं त्या 3 डोमेन मध्ये. आणि ते डोमेन्स प्रत्येक लेवलला, ज्याला आपण इयर म्हणायचो, आता ते लेवल आहे, लेवल 4.55, आणि प्रत्येक लेवलला एक्सपेक्टेड आउटकम नुसार ते कोर्सेस आहे. तुम्हाला लक्षात येईल, प्रत्येक क्रेडिट म्हणजे 30 नोशनल लर्निंग अवर्स आहे. एक सेमिस्टर 600 अवर्सचा आहे. 600 अवर्स म्हणजे 20 क्रेडिट आहे. एक वर्ष 1200 लर्निंग अवर्स आहे. 1200 लर्निंग अवर्स म्हणजे 40 क्रेडिट आहे. म्हणून तो 120, 160 असा 3 वर्ष 4 वर्षाचा प्रोग्राम. आणि हे व्हर्टिकल्स असे लेवल वाईज, सेमिस्टर वाईज डिस्ट्रीब्यूट केलेले आहेत. आता शेवटच्या पार्टला आपण येऊया, आउटकम बेस्ड एज्युकेशन. लेट अस वेट फॉर फ्यू मिनिट्स. याबद्दल कोणाला अनुभव सांगायचे असतील, अधिक चांगलं काही सांगायचं असेल, किंवा सम क्वेश्चन इज देअर, लेट अस वेट फॉर फ्यू सेकंड्स, एल्स वी विल गो टू आउटकम बेस्ड एज्युकेशन. Okay, let us go to outcome based education. Again, right from the beginning, if you remember, I am telling what do we mean NEP implementation for we the teachers or we the institution. बाकीचं सगळं जाऊ द्या, युनियन गव्हर्नमेंट काय करताय, UGC अबॉलिश होता है, इंस्टिट्यूशनल रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग होता है, that is okay. We as a teacher, NEPचा मायने काय, व्हॉट इज द इम्प्लिमेंटेशन ऑफ NEP ॲज अ इंडिव्हिज्युअल टीचर और इन्स्टिट्यूट. इंडिव्हिज्युअल इन्स्टिट्यूट आणि टीचरसाठी NEP म्हणजे एज्युकेशन लर्नर सेंट्रिक होत आहे, नंबर 1. नंबर 2, एज्युकेशन म्हणजे 3 डोमेन राहणारच आहे आणि प्रत्येक डोमेनला त्याच्या स्टेजेसनुसार दिलं जाणार आहे. NEP म्हणजे वी आर मुव्हिंग टुवर्ड्स लेवल बेस्ड कॉम्पिटन्सीज आणि कॉम्पिटन्सीज बेस्ड क्वालिफिकेशन, दॅट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ सिस्टीम. आपले NEP म्हणजे इनपुट, प्रोसेस, आउटपुट ही व्यवस्था बाजूला जाऊन आउटकम इज मोर इम्पॉर्टंट. इनपुट मल्टी एंट्री, मल्टी एक्झिट राहतील, प्रोसेसेस कुठल्याही ऑनलाईन राहील, ऑफलाईन राहील, ब्लेंडेड राहील, फ्लिप राहील, एक्सपेरियन्शियल राहील, पण it will be completely learning outcome. That is what will be more relevant for any qualification. म्हणजे आपण आउटकम बेस्ड एज्युकेशन कडे वळतोय. या पुढचं ऍक्रेडिटेशन हे पूर्णपणे आउटकम बेस्ड एज्युकेशन वरच होणार आहे. म्हणून एक्सपेक्टेड लर्निंग आउटकम ऑफ दिस लास्ट सेशन इज all the learned participants will be able to understand the concept and feature of OBE. आपण डिटेल फार जाऊ शकणार नाही, पण डेफिनेटली कन्सेप्ट आणि फीचर्स आपण समजून घेऊया. दिस इज व्हॉट इज अ स्मॉल एक्सपेक्टेड लर्निंग आउटकम ऑफ दिस सेशन. नाउ व्हॉट डू वी मीन बाय आउटकम बेस्ड अप्रोच? Outcomes is all about performance. What does it mean? There has to be a performer, learner, not only teacher. म्हणून ती लर्निंग सेंट्रिक होते, कारण परफॉर्मर इज इम्पॉर्टंट नाउ बिकॉज इट ऑल अबाउट परफॉर्मन्स. सेकंड, त्या परफॉर्मरला देअर हॅज टू बी समथिंग परफॉर्मेबल, म्हणजे डेमॉन्स्ट्रेबल, असेसेबल, म्हणजे डेमॉन्स्ट्रेशन, असेसिंग of that whatever is performed is very important, आणि फोकस इज ऑन परफॉर्मन्स, नॉट ऑन द ऍक्टिव्हिटी. आम्ही इंडस्ट्रियल टूरला नेलं, मुलांनी फील्ड प्रोजेक्ट केलं, ते प्रोसेस नका सांगू, मिळालं काय तुम्हाला, कशासाठी नेलं आणि ते झालं काय अचीव. सो प्रोसेसेस इज और ऍक्टिव्हिटीज आर नॉट ॲज इम्पॉर्टंट, बट परफॉर्मन्स इज द इम्पॉर्टंट पार्ट. हा पहिला अप्रोच आहे ओबीईचा. दूसरा है, इन ओबीई यू मस्ट स्टेट वेरी क्लिअरली प्रोग्राम एज्युकेशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह. प्रोग्राम एज्युकेशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह म्हणजे काय, तर लक्षात असेल आपल्याला की आपल्याला मॅन्डेट असा दिलाय, वी हॅव टू प्रिपेअर स्टुडंट फॉर देअर फ्युचर जॉब रोल्स. म्हणजे आज विद्यार्थी माझ्याकडे फर्स्ट इयरला जरी आला तरी 5-7 वर्षांनी मला पहिले फोरकास्ट करायचा, हा कुठे कुठे जाऊ शकतो. शक्य आहे मी म्हणेन की माझा विद्यार्थी पोस्ट ग्रॅज्युएट करू शकतो, रिसर्चला जाऊ शकतो, माझा विद्यार्थी मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंगला जाऊ शकतो, क्वालिटी कंट्रोलला जाऊ शकतो, ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह स्टाफला जाऊ शकतो, डिझाईनला जाऊ शकतो. ओके, व्हॉट एव्हर आर possible fields where my student will go after studying from me my subject, write down. तिथे गेल्यानंतर तो काय दाखवू शकेल. जसं लाईफ लॉंग लर्निंग आहे, ते आता सातत्याने मनुष्याला शिकावंच लागणार आहे, इतके टेक्नॉलॉजिकल चेंजेस येतात आहे. तर राईट डाऊन व्हेरी क्लिअरली की माझा विद्यार्थी 7 वर्षानंतर सेल्फ लर्निंग चांगलं करू शकेल आणि येणाऱ्या नवीन चेंजेसला ॲडॉप्ट करू शकेल. सो व्हॉट एव्हर यू हॅव टू राईट 2 or 3 ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह explicitly identifying what student will be able to do when they leave the college and living full productive lives. म्हणजे पास झालेल्या आपल्या अल्युमनाय मधनं कुठले ऍट्रिब्यूट्स राहतील हे लिहिणं म्हणजे पीईओज. आणि उद्या ते टेस्ट हे केल्या जाईल, आपण जे काही आपण पीईओ लिहिले आहेत आपल्यासाठी, वेदर स्टुडंट डेमॉन्स्ट्रेट की ते पीओ, त्या मुलांनी म्हटलं पाहिजे सर्वेमध्ये की मी सर नवीन नवीन शिकू शकतोय, मी नवीन कल्चर पटकन अडॉप्ट करू शकतोय. अँड आपल्या ह्याच्यात पीओ मध्ये ते स्टेट होईल, माय स्टुडंट विल बी लाईफ लॉंग लर्नर, माय स्टुडंट विल अडॉप्ट टू द न्यू व्हॅल्यू सिस्टम्स अँड कल्चर विच आर गेट इव्हॉल्व फ्रॉम टाइम टू टाइम. माय स्टुडंट, जे काय आपण त्याचे लाईफ लॉंग साठीचे ऍट्रिब्यूट्स ठेवू, ते ऍट्रिब्यूट्स म्हणजे प्रोग्राम एज्युकेशनल ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह. नेक्स्ट इज पीओ, प्रोग्राम आउटकम्स. ते प्रोग्राम आउटकम म्हणजे ऍट द टाइम ऑफ ग्रॅज्युएशन त्या मुलामध्ये काय ऍट्रिब्यूट्स राहतील. फॉर्च्युनेटली इंटरनॅशनल स्टँडर्ड्सला अलाइन करून NAC, NBA, UGC, AICT has already given us 11-12 POs. What we have to do, we have to adopt those 12. Now they are changing, they are bringing it to 11, 2 are they are merging. So let us take 12, I take the figure 12. So whatever 12 POs are already given by NBA or NAC or UGC or AICT, we have to adopt those all 12 POs as it is, only modify with our own program. If we are from science, from humanities, from engineering, use those spirit, those statement only, but convert them for our program. So POs are already given and you will find those POs talk about 3 domains. Knowledge domain मध्ये what outcomes are expected, skill मध्ये काय outcome, behavior मध्ये काय outcome, एन्व्हायरमेंट साठी काय आउटकम, लाईफ लॉंग लर्निंग साठी काय आउटकम्स, नॉलेज कसं राहील, स्किल्स कुठल्या टाईपचे राहतील ग्रॅज्युएट झालेल्याला. सो दोज स्टेटमेंट्स. बट रिमेंबर द डिफरन्स बिटवीन पीईओ अँड पीओ. पीईओ आर attributes which student will demonstrate when they are in the profession. जे पास झाल्यानंतर 5-7-8 वर्षानंतर जे ऍट्रिब्यूट्स विद्यार्थी दाखवेल ते पीईओ आहे. ग्रॅज्युएट होताना आपल्याकडनं डिग्री घेऊन जाताना, कॉलेज सोडताना जे ऍट्रिब्यूट्स 10-12 दाखवेल ते पीओ आहेत. So those we have to be very clearly mentioned. For our specific program, there will be 2-3 you can say program specific outcome. ते 12 आउटकम त्यांनी जनरिक दिलेच आहे, पण प्रत्येक इन्स्टिट्यूट लोकेशन स्पेसिफिक असतं. तिथे काही विशिष्ट प्रकारच्या इंडस्ट्रीज असतात, विशिष्ट प्रकारचं इकॉनॉमिक एन्व्हायरमेंट असतं. सो वी हॅव गॉट सम स्पेसिफिक आउटकम डोळ्यासमोर ठेवून कॉलेजनी कोर्सेस केले असतात, काही प्रोग्राम्स केले असतात. ते डोळ्यासमोर ठेवून मिशन विजन जे इन्स्टिट्यूटचं असतं ते डोळ्यासमोर ठेवून काही स्पेसिफिक आउटकम्स असतात. दोज आर प्रोग्राम स्पेसिफिक आउटकम. ते सुद्धा आउटकम्स ग्रॅज्युएशनच्या तेव्हाच त्या मुलामध्ये इन्स्टिल झालेला आपल्याला दाखवायचं असतं. PEOs आर डिफरंट, POs आर डिफरंट, PSO आर सप्लिमेंटरी टू POs. They are also to be demonstrated by the student at the time of graduation. एकदा PO ठरले आणि PSO ठरले, त्यानुसार आपण कोर्सेस घेत असतो. मग फर्स्ट इयरला 10, सेकंड इयरला 10 असे जे काही 40 कोर्सेसच्या माध्यमातून आपण त्या मुलाला नॉलेज, स्किल आणि बिहेवियर देत असतो. त्या प्रत्येक कोर्सचं आउटकम आपल्याला लिहायचं असतं आणि त्या प्रत्येक कोर्समधनं म्हणजे आता इथे लेवल बेसचा फार महत्व आहे. लक्षात घ्यावं लागेल फर्स्ट इयरचं सिलेबस करताना नॉलेजची ब्रेड, स्किलची लेवल, बिहेवियरचं एक्सपेक्टेशन हे सर्टिफिकेट लेवलच्या स्किल्ड वर्करच्या लेवलचं अपेक्षित आहे. त्यामुळे फर्स्ट इयरच्या कोर्सेसचा आउटकम थिअरीचा कोर्स असेल तर तो ब्लूम्सच्या मेमरी, अंडरस्टँडिंग आणि लिटिल बिट अप्लिकेशन ओरिएंटच राहील. म्हणजे आफ्टर स्टडिंग स्टुडंट विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टँड, विल बी एबल टू 1-2 यूज, पण मॅक्सिमम अंडरस्टँड आणि 1-2 यूज असेच त्याचे आउटकम राहतील. तो सेकंड इयरला आला तर त्याचे 1-2च अंडरस्टँडचे राहतील, यूजचे जास्त राहतील आणि थोडेसे अनालाइजचे राहतील. तेच थर्ड इयरला आला तर अंडरस्टँडिंगचं अगदी एखादं राहील, यूजचे 2-3 राहतील, पण कम्पेअर, इव्हॅल्युएट जास्त राहतील आणि चौथ्या वर्षाला क्रिएट, सिंथेसाइज असे त्या प्रत्येक कोर्सचे आउटकम वेगळे राहतील. थिअरीच्या कोर्स बद्दल बोलतोय. सिमिलर विल बी द फॉर प्रॅक्टिकल कोर्सेस अँड बिहेवियरच्या कोर्सेसला. त्याच्यामुळे कोर्स आउटकम हे त्या विशिष्ट कोर्समध्ये त्या मुलाकडनं हे सगळं रिलेटेड राहील त्या POशी. ते रिलेटेड राहील स्टेज म्हणजे लेवल, कुठल्या वर्षाचा कोर्स आहे तो आणि काय एक्सपेक्टेड कॉम्पिटन्सी आहे. म्हणजे NHEQF मध्ये ज्या लेवल बेस्ड कॉम्पिटन्सी लिहिल्या आहे त्यालाच मॅपिंगच्या कोर्सच्या कॉम्पिटन्सीज येतील. ह्या आपल्याला PO, CO हे आपल्याला मिळाल्यानंतर वी ॲज अ इंडिव्हिज्युअल टीचरचा रोल होतो टीचिंग लर्निंग ऍक्टिव्हिटीज. म्हणजे द सेट ऑफ पेडागॉजिकल टूल्स अँड टेक्निक्स that will help student to attain the intended learning outcome. इथे आपल्या इंडिव्हिज्युअल टीचरचा रोल होतो. मला सिलेबस विद्यापीठाने दिलं, कोर्स पण मला हेड ऑफ डिपार्टमेंटनी दिला की हा कोर्स मला शिकवायचा आहे. माय फर्स्ट थिंग विल बी हा कुठल्या लेवलचा आहे, त्याचे NHEQF नुसार लर्निंग आउटकम काय आहे, त्याच्यानुसार ते कोर्स आउटकम कदाचित विद्यापीठाने दिले राहील किंवा मला ठरवावे लागतील लेवलनुसार. आणि त्या कुठल्या व्हर्टिकलचा तो कोर्स आहे, कुठल्या डोमेनचा आहे, नॉलेजचा आहे, स्किलचा आहे, अफेक्टिव्हचा आहे, त्याचं व्हर्टिकल कुठलं आहे, त्याची लेवल कुठली आहे, त्याच्यात एक्सपेक्टेड कॉम्पिटन्सी कुठल्या आहे, ते विचारात घेऊन व्हॉट टीचिंग स्ट्रॅटेजी, व्हॉट टीचिंग टूल, व्हॉट टीचिंग मेथड, in short, what pedagogical tool and technique I should use for teaching learning. अगेन असेसमेंटला वेगळंच करावं लागेल, हे मला ठरवावं लागेल. टीचिंग लर्निंग ऍक्टिव्हिटीज मी ठरवल्यानंतर मला हे मी ऍक्रिडिटेशन मधलं घेतलंय. बघा, जेव्हा आपलं ऍक्रिडिटेशन होईल इंडिव्हिज्युअल टीचिंगचा पूर्णपणे इंडिव्हिज्युअल टीचरचं असेसमेंट केलं जाईल, कसं वापरलंय, काय अपेक्षित आहे, तुमचा अप्रोप्रिएट करिक्युलम म्हणजे इनपुट, डायव्हर्सिटी ऑफ कंटेंट आणि कंटेम्पररी इश्यू. विद्यापीठाने जरी करिक्युलम दिलं असलं तरी मी कंटेंट आणि कंटेम्पररी इश्यूज त्याच्यात घेऊन स्लाइड मॉडिफाय करतो की नाही. प्रोसेसेसमध्ये मी नॉर्मल क्लासरूम टॉप डाऊन टू बॉटम तर कॉमन आहे, पण त्याच्याशिवाय इंटरॅक्टिव्ह मेथड, कोलॅबरेटिव्ह मेथड, कन्सेप्च्युअल मेथड, फील्ड वर्क, इव्हॅल्युएशन, एक्सपेरियन्शियल लर्निंग, प्रॉब्लेम सॉल्व्हिंग मेथड, कुठली प्रोसेस आणि मी पेडॉगॉगी वापरतो. आणि त्याच्यानंतर सगळ्यात महत्वाचं आहे आउटकम आणि इम्पॅक्ट. की अंडरस्टँडिंग ऑफ द होलिस्टिक आणि इम्पॅक्ट ऑफ लर्निंग लाईफमध्ये काय आहे, आणि बेंचमार्क मी दाखवतोय की नाही, प्रॉपर बेंचमार्क मॅच. आणि लास्ट इज वी हॅव टू शो इम्पॅक्ट, अटेनमेंट ऑफ लर्निंग आउटकम इन प्रोग्रेशन आणि प्रोफेशन आणि कंट्रीब्युशन टुवर्ड डिफरंट एरियाज ऑफ लर्निंग. ह्या पद्धतीनेच प्रत्येक टीचरची कोर्स फाईल आणि त्याचं जे मॅनेजमेंट ऑफ द, ज्याला म्हणतो अकॅडमिक्स, एव्हरी टीचरला जे त्याचं आता अकॅडमिक मॅनेज करायचं आहे, थिअरी असेल, प्रॅक्टिकल असेल, प्रोजेक्ट असेल, जे काय असेल ते आपण बघितलं तिन्ही इतर गोष्टी. पण हे मी ॲक्रिडिटेशनच्या रिफॉर्म्स मधलं पेज आणतोय. एव्हरी टीचर विल हॅव टू अलाइंड ऑल अकॅडमिक ऍक्टिव्हिटी अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस. आणि सगळ्यात महत्वाचं आहे असेसमेंट. मला पूर्ण कोर्सला युनिट्स आणि मॉड्यूल्स, कदाचित विद्यापीठच डिवाइड करून देतं. मी प्रत्येक युनिट किंवा मॉड्यूल माझं एक्सपेक्टेड लर्निंग आउटकम काय आहे. प्रत्येक मॉड्यूलचे छोट्या छोट्या बिट्स असतात, 2-3 बिट्स मिळून एक युनिट होतं. त्या प्रत्येक बिटचं इंटेंडेड लर्निंग आउटकम काय आहे, ते इंटेंडेड लर्निंग आउटकम विद्यार्थ्यांपर्यंत मी पोहोचवलं आहे का, ते इंटेंडेड लर्निंग आउटकम अचीव्ह होण्यासाठी कुठली टीचिंग मेथॉडॉलॉजी मी वापरली पाहिजे, मी ती टीचिंग मेथॉडॉलॉजी वापरल्यानंतर मी असेस कसं केलं पाहिजे टू एन्श्युअर की मुलांचं ते इंटेंडेड लर्निंग आउटकम आलाय. जर आलं नसेल तर रेमिडियल काय मी करीन, आणि आलं असेल तर व्हॅलिडेट कसं करेल की बा इंटेंडेड लर्निंग आउटकम मुलांनी अचीव्ह केलं. त्याच्यासाठी मला जे असेसमेंट प्लॅन करायचं आहे त्याचे सगळे मला एव्हिडन्सेस ठेवावे लागतील. मला सुरुवातीला आय मस्ट आयडेंटिफाय what I expect students to know, understand, and do after completing this topic, unit, or course, and then ask teachers to provide evidence that students have demonstrated. This is how the assessment has to be done, and assessment is important part of outcome education. So it determines whether qualification descriptors have been achieved or not. So these methods are defined to measure achievement of goals. फीडबॅक घेतला पाहिजे. आपलं असेसमेंटच्या मेथडला खूप जास्त वेटेज राहील यापुढे ॲक्रेडिटेशन करताना. त्यामुळे मित्रांनो, व्हेरियस लेवल बेस्ड, कॉम्पिटन्सी बेस्ड असेसमेंट आणि टीचिंग लर्निंग ऍक्टिव्हिटी याकडे आपलं पूर्ण अकॅडमिकचा फोकस होणार आहे. प्रत्येकाला फॉर्मेटिव्ह असेसमेंट कडे जास्त वळायचं आहे, समेटिव्ह असेसमेंट कमी, एक्झामिनेशनचा भार कमी. आपल्याला डिफरन्स बिटवीन असेसमेंट, व्हेरियस असेसमेंट, ज्या टूल्स, क्रायटेरिया बेस्ड म्हणजे काय, रुब्रिक्स बेस्ड म्हणजे काय, सो पिअर असेसमेंट म्हणजे काय, सो दे ऑल दिस थिंग वी शुड नो. सो may I request one small assignment for this final part, that can our learned participants can identify course learning outcome of any of the courses which you teach. I expect course learning outcome means whatever course, maybe of first year, second year, third year, final year, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6 you may be teaching. For that course, what are the expected outcome of each module or unit? From each module consists of various bits. So divide your module into bits. For each bit, what is your intended learning outcome? Just make a list of intended learning outcome of each bit. 3-4 bits. So 6-7 intended learning outcomes of various bits will make your module outcome or unit outcome. And module or unit outcome together will make course outcome. So will you please try to find out what are intended learning outcomes for your own course which you are teaching, for each of the bit of each unit. From intended learning outcome of each bit, write down the intended learning outcome of that unit, and from intended outcome of unit, prepare a list of course learning outcome. Remember, course learning outcome will be generally between 6 to 8 only, but intended learning outcome may be 2 to 3 for one bit, so 6 to 8 for one unit. So from 48 bit outcome, you have to take out 6 to 8 unit outcome or course outcome. Can you do it? This is what is expected from individual teacher when we say we are implementing outcome-based education, and outcome-based education is the future. All our accreditation, etc., will be done on that. So I think we should keep some time for learned participants to add their views, because they may be knowing something more than what I have tried, or they may have some queries to ask. So let us keep some time for participants for interactive session. So I express my sincere thanks to all learned participants. They have shown, sorry, they have shown lot of patience and we have patient hearing. I am thankful to institution, principals, course coordinators, management, then university, our director, UGC, MMTC, most importantly, our friend Ankit sir, and all those in university also. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any query, anything, any teacher wants to add anything more what they are doing already? Or else I think we can conclude. Ankit sir is there? Okay, but course coordinator is there.
Yes,
No
sir.
problem.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you very much, sir, for this nice session, sir. Dr. Marade, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, should we conclude, friends?
Yes, sir. We will continue.
We are not shortcut.
Yes,
Neither we have exceeded the time. We are well within time.
No, we will begin in time
Okay.
and properly
So,
explain.
thank you. So,
इकडे कुठे?
if any query at any time you can ask me, I will ask Ankit sir to share all PPTs with you, my contact details also. I will be very happy. If anything I could contribute anytime, it will be my pleasure. Thank you very much, friends.
Thank you, sir.
Ankit, yeah. Ankit, should we stop?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
This
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank